Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We are back with some more Masters action. Veneration Esports versus Energy Esports. It is going to be a perler of a game. Two of these Master teams going head to head. Going to be super exciting. Tonight, I've got one of the dirty rascals that have been hiding under my bed back in action. Pooza, how are you doing?
Oh, dude, it's good to be back. Well, yeah, I guess I could say it's good to be back. Connor, I mean, it's been a little while since we've casted together, since I've casted any sort of Dota, since I've casted SA Dota. It's even longer away. I mean, just looking at these teams, half the names I don't recognize. So I'm pretty excited to see what's going on. I'm excited to see the sort of mix-up between the two teams. Like, I remember PSL, I remember MD Amazing. Like, these guys have all, like, sort of come across from different teams and sort of bound together. So I'm interested to see how they actually do cope and play as a team.
Well, it's going to be super exciting. So far, a lot of the action has been really around these certain bands that have actually already come through. Ember Spirit, Underlord being banned out here for Veneration. We've got Ian that's already banned out the slot on. Generally, these are like very hot picks or very big deny picks coming out for other teams. So, I mean, a lot of the action since Update 7, I think a lot of the teams are struggling with the Underlord pick and how to really deal with him. Ember Spirit's really become overpowered as soon as he picks up the Veil and building into that Octarine core. So a lot of things have really developed and changed as this new update has taken place.
Yeah, I've sort of been following the international scene quite a bit. So I know how painful it is to just go up against Underlord. I mean, you really have to try lane up against that hero. So it's just so annoying to have to deal with. And of course, you can always farm quite freely with a Firestorm. Of course, the Ember Spirit it's an interesting build. I'm actually wondering to see how long that build is actually going to last. Because sure, I get why it's so strong, and of course, you get the talents with the magic amplification. But I'm just wondering how long it'll take everybody to go back to the old standard build and focus more towards the late games. Because the games that I've sort of been seeing, sure, there's a lot of pressure on the early game, but the games are still lasting 30 plus minutes, and that's sort of where your old school Ember Spirit comes in. So I'm interested to see, but we have let through the SD Luna. This is one thing I was trying to get to as well with the IO ban out that left both heroes in the pool, basically.
Yeah, it really did something that really gave Ian a big advantage here. The Shadow Demon Luna, the synergy between these two heroes is absolutely ridiculous. And we've just seen how much success that this pair actually has between the two of them. But Veneration, they pick up the Nyx, so they're going to probably stick that in the off-lane position. And the SD Luna, I mean, I think enough is said. And pretty scary combination. What could Veneration do to actually maybe deal with this Luna? Does that potentially bring out an OD pick, trying to deal with the illusions of the SD?
Yeah, sure. The OD pick's not bad, but to be honest, they've done their fair bit of homework already. Like, they instantly pick up the Nyx, which doesn't necessarily counter the SD or the Luna in a way. But if you think about it this way, once your tier 3 tower is down and the SD Luna is just smashing away at your Raxus, Nyx Assassin can always blink and initiate, pop this by Carapace as well, stunning both heroes at the same time, and that's when you sort of get your initiation off. And that's when the Earth Spirit can come back, because you got that, what is it? It's a 1.7 second stun. Yeah, 2.4 seconds at max level with the Nyx Assassin. And then, of course, you've got the Earth Spirit that can just jump in at will straight after that initiation. So it's not a direct counter. I don't think there really is a direct counter to Shadow Demon Luna. It's just the way you play in the early game. Like, if the Luna doesn't get off to the great start, if Shadow Demon isn't able to get his early levels, then it's going to be difficult for those heroes. Because, I mean, you know yourself, Luna in the early game is extremely squishy.
Well, unfortunately, you never ever let me play a Luna as in our teams. Just a little bit of backstory. Pooza used to actually be my captain, used to rage like the best of them, and never let me actually ever play Luna. Always put me on the gyro. So
that wasn't my fault that you only had like a hero pool of 3 heroes. Gyro, Sniper, and...
Alrighty, moving on very quickly. Ian bans out the Sven, obviously. Also trying to deny that cleave attack coming out from Veneration. Should they actually look at the Sven, trying to deal with those illusions that Ian is looking so good on getting. But Veneration, they ban out the Darkseer, so trying to prevent any huge harassment coming out for the offlane. So trying to guarantee the Nyx as much farm as he can. Looking at the next ban coming out here for the side of Ian. But what could they possibly jump onto here, or try and ban out?
There's still standard your standard carriers in the pool. Life Stealer, Juggernaut that you could get rid of. The Ember Spirit has been removed. I'd be more worried for VnR. I'd be more worried for EN. Yeah, I was just about to say the Weaver to be come out. I mean, that Weaver can still be played as a 4 position. Highly unlikely considering that the Earth Spirit is picked up, which most likely goes into the 4 position. Yeah, the Weaver was just a good choice overall. Again, gives you that early aggression, and the Weaver with the Germinate attack once he picks up a Desolator does hurt the Luna very, very quickly. It's a hero that melts Luna. Luna isn't able to kite around the Weaver. Weaver, of course, has the Sakuchi, so it makes the life extremely difficult for the Luna. So it's a good ban out. Veneration Esports on the other side, they do ban out the Axe, which is again a form of initiation, which Energy Esports at the moment are lacking.
I've seen a lot of teams like always rely on the center war runner. Now, Ian is still looking for their offlaner, depending on what position the Nyx is actually going to be positioned in. We assume it's going to be an offlaner. He is kind of a greedy hero, needs quite a bit of farm on him. So, it's more likely going to be the offlaner. But, I mean, Veneration, they now need some form of really initiation. I suppose the Winter Wyvern combined up with the Nyx does really well with that. But Energy, they can jump onto the Center War Runner. That's something that could actually be their form of initiation for Ian.
Yeah, I'm actually also quite impressed by the Winter Wyvern pickup. It's a hero that's very, very often forgotten, and it deals very well with pushing lineups. So it's a semi counter towards the Luna SD. The Ogre Magi, of course, is just there just to buff up this Luna. So I won't be surprised if we see a DK coming out here, or the Invoker, which are both still in the pool, both still good for pushing. With the Enigma, you got your mech carrier there, so I won't be surprised if you see something like the Invoker with the Forward Spirits, or you see something along the lines of the DK. It gives you both decent amount of late game, considering DK's new talents. He scales actually pretty well now towards the late game as well. So I'd like to see DK coming out for Energy. For Veneration, they're still looking for their mid laner and their carry. Oof. I wouldn't really like to play carry up against this lineup here at the moment. It's difficult.
No, but how do you feel like with the Enigma pickup? I'm really concerned about it. I mean, you've got the Winter Wyvern that can really...
I'm not. Sure, you got the Winter Wyvern, but you got the Earth Spirit that's going to be roaming around. So once you got the Enigma, just denying out the range creeps, the creep wave was always going to be pushing in towards your tower as the offlaner, and the Ogre Magi is going to be running around anyway. So if the Ogre Magi plus the Enigma go up against a dual lane, so to speak, from Veneration Esports, it's going to be very, very easy for them. And if the Earth Spirit's forced to stay in the safe lane, just to help out the Juggernaut, then it's already a win for Energy Esports. And that's exactly what I think might happen here. Sure, the Juggernaut's a pretty good hero in the early stages, but he does struggle a lot with mana. And he does struggle a lot if he falls behind. And the Enigma, he's going to be denying creeps, and he's going to be applying a lot of early pressure to the Juggernaut. And as soon as that first spin goes out, Juggernaut's going to be in trouble. So I'm liking the chances here for Energy at the moment.
Let me propose a scenario to you. All of a sudden, there's a team fight happening in the mid lane. Enigma's like lining himself up for the perfect black hole. Jumps in, all of a sudden he's getting his black hole off. You get Luna, Ogre Magi all run into the center of the black hole to chuck down the Juggernaut. Then all of a sudden you've now got Earth Spirit can throw out that silence from quite a distance away, silence the black hole. Then you've got the Winter Wyvern that will follow up with the curse. And if all that happens, Nyx Assassin just pops his Carapace and Enigma is rendered useless unless he gets 100%. His BK, unless he gets his BKB. So, I mean, looking at the team fight potential, I think Veneration is got a good way to deal with the Enigma, but maybe focusing on the Enigma may not be the beginning and end all of everything here.
This Enigma pickup here is not just for the black hole. I think I watched Team Secret play last night and the night before, where Kezu was on the Enigma. And I saw, in both games, I saw one black hole. The Enigma is basically just there to support the rest of the team. You're going to have the Aura coming out from the Luna. You're going to have the Illusions coming out from the Luna as well. I mean, from the SD onto the Luna. You've got the Bloodlust coming out from the Ogre Magi. All you need now is a mech carrier. Like, you don't care really if this black hole is used on one hero just to get a pick off and not have the black hole for the team fight. So it's more about the Midnight Pulse. It's more about the pushing potential from the Idle Lances in the early stages here. So sure, there's a lot of counters to the black hole, but I'm pretty sure this Enigma pickup isn't for the black hole.
Okay, cool. Well, just jumping on to the quick bans that have come through. Invoker being banned out here for VnR. And Ian banning out the Lone Druid. We've seen a little bit of success with it and a couple of failures in the previous games that I've been able to participate in. But looking at Ian's lineup at the moment, how do you think they're going to lane it currently? It's going to be maybe the SD Luna in the safe lane, Ogre Magi possibly in the off lane, maybe Enigma mid. What is Ian going to actually...
No, the Enigma's definitely going towards the off lane. Yoga Magi is going to be running around. The SD Luna are going to be okay up against the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin's always going to get his level, so I'm not surprised that Energy actually just, I won't say sack their safe lane, but just free up room for the Enigma. You get that Enigma off to a good start. You're basically making the trade where your Luna is going to get free farm, but their Juggernaut isn't going to get as much. So that's going to be the trade-off here. And if Energy can keep that Earth Spirit in their safe lane, then it's instantly a lane win, if you want to call it that, because Earth Spirit wants to be roaming around. He doesn't want to sit in his safe lane. He doesn't want to be soaking up any of Juggernaut's levels. He wants to be moving around, getting kills across the map. And it's going to be difficult for the Earth Spirit to actually get kills, because Veneration Esports have picked up a sniper who's great for the counter push, and once he gets up his Maelstrom, he does do a lot of damage. He, again, just counter push coming out from the sniper and Winter Wyvern. So the sniper is a good pick in itself, but they don't have kill potential in the middle lane here. So this Earth Spirit pick, they might have been not really forced into it, but it's a hero that isn't going to really do much in their draft. And I'm pretty sure I called the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, I think you did. You were hot on the you were hot on the money there. Is there any casinos where you are? Maybe you should go drop a couple of bob on there.
Yeah, no, it just makes perfect sense to round up with the Dragon Knight. This is, I'd almost say it's your classic TI3, TI4 kind of lineup where you didn't have the Luna, but you still had the SD, you had the Enigma, you had the Dragon Knight, you had these early potential heroes. And this is why I say I won't even be surprised if we don't see a black hole in the first 15 minutes of the game. It's just basically about the Enigma, getting his levels up, getting the Eyed Lancers up, and getting that early mechanism. That's extremely important, because that's going to free up the Dragon Knight to be able to get himself a Dragon Lance into BKB. So this is going to be a dire victory.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We'll be right back. They're going to just remake lobby, and we'll be back with you shortly. But we're not really going to leave you. We're going to keep you guys entertained and busy as we normally do. It's very unfair if we leave you guys. But yeah, Pooh's great to have you here with me. It's awesome to finally catch a cast with you in our local SA scene. I hope that we can impress.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely going to be a fun game to watch. So we'll see how it plays out in a few seconds. As soon as I get back into the lobby, though.
Oh, seems like Pooh's struggling there. It's a couple of keyboard strokes that you need to put in the password. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good Monday. I hope things haven't been going too crazy your side. We are hot on the action for a lot of Dota this week. A lot of the results are out. And a couple of the teams have already started snacking themselves up towards gaining their points as this Master League does continue. So, Ian, I think it is the first game that they're actually going to be participating in. And best of luck to the lads. See how they can do.
Yeah, how is the league actually playing out? Like, how is it? Do you have any idea on the standings?
At the moment, APG is sitting with a win. Flipside Tactics sitting with a win. White Rabbit Gaming as well as XD also sitting with wins. The other teams unfortunately weren't able to pick up the bacon. And VnR and Ian yet to play. So this is going to be their first showing in the new season. So things very exciting here for both teams. Nothing really peculiar so far from what we've seen of the draft. I mean, looking at the draft thus far,
I'm just really worried about this. I'm really worried about this Earth Spirit pickup. Like, I feel like he doesn't have a place in the lineup. I feel like they wanted to do something around the Earth Spirit, and I really feel like, and I keep saying this feel like because it really feels like it. Like, you know, when you just have that feeling and it feels right. I feel like Energy have completely outdrafted the Veneration Esports here just because of this Earth Spirit pick. Like, I'm not sure what this hero is going to get done.
All right, well, it looks like we are just going to wait for the 20 seconds strategy time to actually take place. We're already in game, so you guys can get to have a look at a very boring map. But yeah, like you said, the ES, I mean, do you think it's one of those pivotal heroes that can really make or break a team fight?
Yes and no. Like in certain situations where you actually pick him to do something, the only thing like he can be really good and is a really good hero. But the only thing he really is going to be focusing on here is cancelling the black hole, the early ganks that the hero wants to get off and apply that pressure. He isn't really going to be able to achieve that. And sure, he can be the space creator heading towards the late game where he just sort of jumps in and dies, basically just kills himself for the fun of it. I say for the fun of it, he's just basically going to be creating space for the sniper to right click in the background. So the Earth Spirit rolls in, does these things, creates enough space, creates havoc, and sniper's just right clicking throughout the backline. So that's the only real role I see for this Earth Spirit here at the moment.
Well, let's hope he can be a little bit of a nuisance to the side of EN, as already the Anthem on the ES trying to drop that ward. Momo able to actually get that high ground ward here, just being able to spot out this bounty here for the side of VnR. So maybe they can make, at least they get to view those rotations, see what's happening. And now Azu, almost being spotted out, gets that deep observer in the bot lane here, but Pluck may be able to spot him out here. He's going to be able to do something. Actually upgrades the Ignite now. C112, trying to see if they can maybe pick it up. Azu in a little bit of trouble here. Going to be actually, jukes around the trees. Thought he was going to get stuck with that tree, but he's able to actually just be able to walk it off. And Wazoo, easy peasy. He says, guys, what you panicking for? Just take it easy. I'm out of this. And super unfortunate. Ian couldn't actually pick up that pesky little rascal there.
Yeah, what's important here, though, is they managed to spot out the next assassin. They were never really going to kill him with just two heroes. They could have, maybe, if the SD was there. What's really important is they got the D ward off here. So next assassin is going to have a lot more of a difficult time now. Next assassin has a lot of HP regeneration, especially with the Mango. So he's basically, when he gets back to lane, he's going to basically be at full HP again. So Wazoo isn't too worried about it. That's the one nice thing about next assassin, is you're not really worried about the early harassment because you do have such a high regen.
Yeah, well, something we haven't done yet. Let's just go around and introduce our players to you. It is going to be the first game of this best of 3 Veneration Esports versus Energy Esports. It is going to be a pearler of a game starting in the off lane. Going to be playing the Enigma will be Momo. In the mid lane, we've got our DK Chelsea. Big ball coming in here from Anthem. Got the shrapnel coming down from PSL. Maybe just trying to put a little rest on there. And things are calmed down quite a bit. So ES playing a little bit of a support role here in the mid, trying to help out PSL. But in the bot lane, we've got Plick playing the Ogre Magi. And Strike going to be on our Shadow Demon. And C112 going to be playing our Luna. That wraps it up for the side of EN. Please do the introductions for Veneration, my buddy.
Yeah, so it looks like Wazoo could be in a little bit of trouble here down towards the bottom lane. Shadow Demon is going to look for him. He does find him. They are going to block him up there. He does have the disruption if the Shadow Demon wants to use it, but it's just such a difficult kill. He's just such a nuisance. The Ogre Magi is nowhere close. Oh, the body blocks. If you can actually get the body blocks off, this is going to be good. The disruption comes out. Ogre Magi comes around as well. Throw out the Ignite. There's no Spike Carapace, so I'm pretty sure that Wazoo goes down here. If Plick all Plick has to do is just block him off and easy first blood.
Easy peasy going in favor of Strike. So picking up an easy kill in the bot lane.
Yeah, so down towards the middle lane, you got PSL. He's playing up on the sniper. There's going to be a spin in on towards the middle lane. They might actually get the kill here.
The shrapnel does so much work. Anthem, one more right click, does get it. And Chelsea hits the deck. Should have backed Liverpool there, my boy.
Pretty boy, he's going to be up on the Winter Wyvern down towards the top. You got the Blade Fury coming through there from TK. As well. So what's this Enigma actually doing here? He's sitting at level 2. He's about to hit level 3 as well. So he's doing pretty well for 2 minutes into the game here. The Earth Spirit's creating a lot of space. I didn't really think they'd be able to get themselves a kill with the shrapnel. Anthem is now down towards the top, and this is going to be a kill as well.
Well, Momo trying to hunt it at tier 1 gets kicked away. They're going to try and chase him down. They do get it. Jugger, TKC picking out the TKO, dropping him to the floor, and Enigma hitting the deck. And super unfortunate. At least we've got Veneration sitting on 2-1 kills already at the 2 minutes 30 mark. I mean, we expected it to kind of go in favor of EN, and Veneration making us eat our words. Yeah, but I suppose ES is getting those rotations as you may have thought that Energy would have been able to prevent.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't think that they really would be able to get this much done in the early stages, to be honest. Like Anthem, he has been playing his socks off so far. He's got himself He's been involved in both of the kills basically, just up on the Enigma and over onto the DK. It's difficult for the DK in the early stages. I mean, level 4, he's got himself now the 2 points in Dragon Blood, and this is when it becomes a lot more difficult. So we'll see if he's able to get those ganks off. He has helped out his sniper in the early stages, so this is where it's going to count now. When you start heading towards the 6 to 10 minute mark, see what they can do towards this DK. But this DK is going to be able to come back with the tower gold anyway. So once the Enigma gets this mechanism up, how's he actually looking in terms of farm, in terms of CS? He's sitting at 6 for 5, just running up the side camp as well here.
I mean, he's obviously trying to just maximize the amount of farm that he actually can get. They've actually got quite a deep sentry here that's been placed here from Anthem when the ES actually did the rotation. It's not it's blocking out just the one camp at the moment, so going to be a little bit of a pain for Mumu. Not going to be able to farm out that second camp, but Anthem spotting him out. They're going to try and maybe do something. Yeah, Anthem just pretty happy to take a chilled, cheeking around the trees. Momo trying to get to the high ground advantage, just getting to that shrine in case he does need it. Here comes the ball. He's going to jump in, and there comes the second stun. Very risky playing underneath the shrine here. Could have instant TP support here, bot lane. We've got C112 picking up a kill again on Wazoo. And Wazoo hitting the deck. PSL now rotates in, drops the shrapnel. There comes out the disruption. This could be a little bit of a problem. CN12 does go down as well. Plick, also in a lot of trouble, goes down as well. Anyone to survive here from the side of EN is going to be our Shadow Demon, but a lot of the price has been paid there for Veneration. They paid the boatman, and they got rewarded.
They paid a heavy price there because they were literally sitting underneath this tier 1 tower for a good 30 seconds, just chasing down Wazoo. Wazoo just creating so much space, allowing that 4.5 second TP from the sniper just to come in there. And it's like the Winter Wyvern TP's in first, then followed up by the sniper, and sniper being involved in 2 kills. Now he's been involved in 3. So he's got himself 2 kills and 1 assist, and this is a really, really good start. And even though I thought that Energy really, really did outdraft the side of Veneration are definitely playing a heck of a lot better here. You got Winter Wyvern now sitting here with an Invis rune as well.
Oh, they may look at actually maybe doing something here on Pretty Boy. He's on the higher ground. Sniper can actually spot him out pretty easily here. Here comes the Splinter Blast. Going to slow down Chelsea quite a bit. There comes another Shrapnel charge. Now the ball from Anthem. Not going to be able to connect, but the silence is good. There comes the Assassinate. Does it connect? It does. PSL getting another kill over there. So PSL seems like they've actually recruited the Liverpool boys and putting another one under the hat.
Yeah, those Liverpool boys, man. I'm not sure what to say. Like the Eurospirit, of course, like I mentioned during the draft, I didn't think he had a place in this lineup. He's managed to pull it out of his socks, basically. The sniper has now been involved in 4 kills. He's got himself 3 kills, 1 assist. The Ahsoka is sitting pretty high up in terms of net worth as well. He's probably right at the top. And the Juggernaut, who I thought would be struggling in the early stages if the Ogre Magic just rotated up towards the off lane, is sitting at 3,000 net worth. You've got the Sniper sitting at 2nd place at 2.8. So this is looking extremely, extremely good for Veneration. A lot better than I would have thought.
I mean, it was a very iffy pick with the ES that we spoke about. But I mean, I suppose when the later the draft goes on, I think that's when we're going to see Energy really start to accelerate a little bit better.
I'm not sure, because Energy sort of have a timeline here. Like, they really, really have a timeline. Like, sure, these heroes scale decently in towards the late game, but if this early game is going this poorly, this Luna isn't really going to be able to get the start that she wants, and she isn't going to be able to push down those towers, and that's when your Luna SD combo doesn't really come into play.
Well, then what does Energy have to do to actually put the favor back in their favor? I mean, what do you end up doing? Chelsea's taken a little bit of a beating mid, unnecessarily going down, considering he's had pretty much a free lane of farm. I mean, what does Ian do? Top lane though, ooh, sneaky TP out coming out here from the Enigma, just dodging that Blade Fury, as well as the onslaught here from the Winter Wyvern, dodging a huge death coming in from him, but managing to survive through that. I mean, what does Ian do? What kind of plays do you expect us to see?
I think at this stage you just take the DK, you take your level 6, you go down towards the bottom lane, you just make SD illusions, take down the tier 1, and go back to farming. Your Luna quickly clears up the jungle. Your DK as well as SD and the Ogre Magi just head back towards the middle lane, do a little bit of chip damage. So you'll have a tier 1 tower bottom, you'll have chip damage on your tier 1 middle, and you'll have your Luna basically just having free space. The problem at the moment is this Juggernaut. He's just farming absolutely insanely at the moment. He's got himself 3,500 net worth. He's been absolutely uncontested, which is something I didn't think would happen. And 4 heroes are moving down towards the bottom lane now.
Well, here comes the disruption. Going to be that offensive disruption coming out here from the side of Ian. Going to put a lot of pressure on this tier 1. The glyph is out, has been used, and they want to start snacking up these objectives. Splinter Boss going to deal with those illusions pretty decently, but it looks like they're going to still be able to get this tier 1 tower. The side of VnR, not getting too close. We've got that boulder coming out here from the ES, and too late. The tower is gone, so already objective 1 going in favor of Ian.
Yeah, this is good, but meanwhile, Juggernaut's busy putting chip damage on the tier 1 top. It is going to get defended now by the Enigma, which I guess is what you needed to be doing. This is exactly what I said now. The Luna goes into the jungle, your 2 supports head down towards the middle, and you make use of this Dragonite ulti. Like, this ulti has not been used at all yet. And this Dragonite, he's not sure he's falling behind, but it's not like something he can't come back from at the moment.
I think as soon as he, do you think we're going to see the Shadow Blade build on the DK, or do you think he's going to start building straight towards that those tanky items?
I think you have to go for the Dragon Lance first, like especially in this sort of lineup where you want to try and push towers. I think the Dragon Lance is the way to go, and then after that you can decide if you want to go for the Shadow Blade. The Silver's edge this game is debatable here, as Chelsea's going to go down most likely here.
Yeah, big onslaught coming out here. Better Black Hole from nowhere gets stunned out, and now PSL may pay with his life. Nice little cold embrace, trying to keep him alive a little bit longer. Mumi does hit the deck, and now it's Chelsea under a huge amount of attack. Pluck trying to just body block here for his teammate, but picking up a kill. One is PCA, Enigma going down, so does PSL. And maybe try and pick off Pretty Boy. No, just the sun coming out from Pluck. That's all it's going to be. And that could have gone a lot worse here for the side of Energy. Only losing the Enigma. I suppose he had to sacrifice his life to save his pal, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea was able to survive that, which is okay. He survived. They did get themselves at least this 1 kill, so they traded 1 for 1. Chelsea, however, was forced into using the Dragon Form. Like, he would have loved to have saved his Dragon Form. He's now got a haste rune as well, so Dragon Form plus haste could have been something useful. They have expanded the Black Hole. It was a pretty good one as well, as Enigma is TPing down towards the top lane, forced to just deal with this Juggernaut's constant push. Juggernaut, however, doesn't have too much mana left on him. He does have himself the raindrop, so the regen is going to be there. But this is going to be 50 seconds where Chelsea doesn't have his Dragon Form, and this is going to be 50 seconds where they're going to pressure this tier 1 tower, but I highly doubt they're going to get it.
Well, now, if you're sitting on VnR's side, you know Dragon Form's down, you know Black Hole's down. Isn't this the time when they say, right, boys, we've lost some big ultis here for the side of Ian. Let's start making a play on a couple of objectives.
I don't know if I can though. Like it's all up to this Earth Spirit to carry on doing what he's doing, just creating space, and the Winter Wyvern just to carry on defending towers. As 4 heroes have now moved up towards the top lane. There is a smoke as well, but Juggernaut has got himself a decent map awareness because I'm not seeing any sort of wards here. So it's really, really good game sense here. Spotting that there's nobody in the bottom lane, spotting that there's nobody in the middle lane. So there's only one place you can be. The scan comes out as well. That is spot on game sense. He's just going to TP out and carry on farming, and they're going to get themselves a tier 1 tower, but the Juggernaut's going to have enough space here. They're going to put pressure on the tier 1 middle as PSL as well. He's going to get himself a Dragon Lance here, so they'll be very, very happy with this trade here with VnR. They'll glad to give up the tier 1 tower. I mean, Dragon Form was used as well.
I mean, that was, I suppose it's a win for VnR, forcing out a couple of those big rotations. And I think a lot of what this patch actually determines is fight combat ready heroes. I mean, but they have spotted out here Pretty Boy, Momo, getting the TP in on the shrine now. We've got the Nyx in the back line, Wazoo, but there comes the Winter's Curse, going to try and hold down the Enigma, and the Winter Wyvern goes down in the back lines. Beautifully done there, as Luna does able to get off that Lucent Beam, stopping that TP, getting that kill. So Winter Wyvern paying with his life, being caught unawares, and so close to that instant TP support that the shrines do offer.
Yeah, pretty close. And there we go. The SD Illusions over onto the Dragonite with these DK form up, and they're going to get themselves a tier 1 tower, most likely uncontested as well. So this is still okay for the side of Generation. They're going to be happy with it. They won't be happy with it, but they're going to be okay with it. I mean, Sniper, he has picked himself up the Dragon Lance here. How's this Jugger looking for farm? Jugger's got himself a Helm of Dominate as well. They're going to get a lot of chip damage on this tier 1 tower, and it's going to most likely force the side of EN just to back off. Well, Maybe
they could actually push.
They can, but they're trading a tier 1 tower, and as a push lineup, you don't really want to be giving up these easy towers as well, because there's a lot of gold going towards the enemy team. While you're stacking up and sharing experience, the other team is splitting up the map and just farming it all over the place, getting the experience. So soon, you are going to get out-leveled.
Well, I mean, just looking at the Luna's items, she does have the Helm of the Dominator. I don't see any Dominator creeps just yet. Do you think that's maybe more of a counter towards whatever the Jug may actually use up? Or do you think that she's got something special in store for the side of VnR, yeah?
He did have the Alpha Wolf, so I'm guessing it probably just got killed off a few seconds ago. I did see that up, but I'm not sure where it's gone to now at the moment. Yeah, looks like it probably got killed off. I don't see any sort of counter. I mean, not really to speak of. I mean, what do you really use the Helm of the Dominator for?
To dominate the enemy's creep.
To dominate the enemies. Oh, you mean it like that? No, I don't think so. Like that's not really why you get it. Sure, it's a good idea. It's not a good idea, but it's. Oh, he's actually dominated the catapult, so they're gonna have this nice siege unit. Plus, they're gonna have the SD illusions from the Dragon Knight. That's all right. That's one way to go about this.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, but some decent zoning coming out here from both teams. We've got that Midnight Pulse being laid on the ground to try and zone out the side of VnR. PSL throwing down those shrapnel charges to try and keep the side of Ian away from this tier 2 mid tower. Shrapnel charge is on cooldown at the moment. They've got very low HP here on this mid tower. Going to try and deny it. They're not actually going to. They're going to get it. Going in favor of actually the Luna. But here comes the big engage. Jumping onto Chelsea. Big Omni Slash in the background. Trying to take down the Shadow Demon. Not going to happen now. The DK does go down eventually. They're turning their attentions to the Jugger. Shrapnel slowing down the side of Ian. And they may be able to get another one. But no, only the DK bites the dust. And now Anthem wants to fire more. There comes the Assassin out on the Enigma. There's the silence onto the Ogre Major. But now the Eclipse is being used here for the side of Ian. Trying to work down here the side of VnR. Not going to happen. Pluck, quite a tanky little champ. He's going to go down eventually. And now 5 players still sitting in the sweet spot here for the side of VnR. As they lose 3 players here for the side of EN, losing the DK, the Enigma, as well as the Ogre Major. Things are not going as you would seem.
No, things are definitely not going as planned. I'm just looking over to the Enigma. He does have himself a mechanism, was used in that fight as well. The side of Energy actually got very, very lucky because the Omni Slash is only level 1. The Omni Slash is only level 1, and 2 of the 3 bounces, I believe, landed up on creeps, or at least it was split up pretty nicely. So the fight couldn't have started off better for the side of Energy is what I'm trying to get at. They're sure they lost the DK in the early stages, but then losing 2 more heroes and not picking up anything, they got themselves a tower, but the tower is definitely not worth it. Like, they're sharing so much experience, they're giving so much gold up towards the enemy side as well. There's Earth Spirit just creating a lot of space as well. Winter Wyvern with a Splinter Blast does a ton of damage in the early stages as well, and Luna just isn't able to maintain it. And as soon as she popped out the ulti, the Spike Carapace from the Nyx Assassin came out, and that was basically that for the Luna.
This Nyx Assassin is actually, I think he's like this unheard of, this like hidden ninja that's actually causing so much disruption here to the side of EN.
Yeah, like I'm actually more scared of a Nyx Assassin than I am of the Veil Ember Spirit, to be honest. Like, Nyx Assassin just does so much with the Spike Carapace. At 2.4 seconds done at max level. So in the early stages, it's not that great, but lol, forehead. Yeah, in the early stages, it's not that great, but what can you do? It's still extremely, extremely good in the later game, in the latest stages. Luna is not really as farmed as she'd want to be. I mean, just looking over towards the net worth, she's sitting at top at 8.4, but it just feels like she's not offering anything.
Not yet. She's doing pretty well in terms of net worth. Jug has fallen off quite a bit, so is the Sniper. Sitting very close in terms of net worth, the two of them, but DK is sitting the mid hero quite low in comparison to the rest of the team, taking a little bit of harassment in the early parts of the game. Maybe he can find some farm to actually start getting back online a little bit. He's also looking to build towards that it's going to be an armlet. I think it's going to be. It is going to be the armlet. So Chelsea trying to look for something that can actually just withstand a little bit longer in team fights, getting that HP that he actually wants and needs so drastically.
Yeah, he definitely needs it. Like, I really wanted the Dragon Lance and then armlet. He's picked up the armlet, but yeah, the Dragon Lance is just good for stats. It's probably I think it's the best item or the second best. Of course, GG branches is the best item in terms of stat build up, stat per gold. But meanwhile, bottom lane.
They spot out the Luna. Anthem trying to make a big play here. Here comes Strike on the Shadow Demon. Gets that defensive disruption off. Now Anthem being healed up here by the Cold Embrace. Going to hold him in place for just a little bit longer. Doesn't have the roll. The roll coming off cooldown just too late. And eventually does go down. Now they're trying to spot out the Winter Wyvern. He gets up by the skin of his teeth. Instantly TPing out and saving himself.
Yeah, this is fine though. Like, you'll gladly trade one of your supports, if not both your supports, for the end result here. I mean, PSL is farming away the Juggernaut, he's farming away as well. Like, there's a lot of space created on the map here. The tier 2 tower might go down here. I mean, there's no Magnetize. They do have the level 2 Omni Slash here, but Juggernaut's a little bit low on mana. He is going to TP in, however, so this is going to be another big fight here. That's going to be extremely, extremely crucial here.
Well, they're trying to zone out the side of Ian with the shrapnel charges. The Winter Blast is going to be good, clearing out that wave. Assassinate going to come out into Luna. Does connect, but he's super low HP, sitting on 250 HP. This may actually be the call for Ian to actually just back off at this point.
Yeah, and that is extremely key. Like, if they're taking that tier 2 tower and not lost any sort of heroes, it would have been exactly what Energy wanted, but now they've been forced to back out. They're back in their own jungle. More space created for the side of Veneration here. So it's just really looking good this game so far for Veneration. Even though, again, like I said in the draft, like, I'll gladly give it credit where credit is due. I wasn't the biggest fan of Veneration's draft, but they definitely have pulled it up in terms of team play here. But just look at the experience now. This is exactly what happens in push lineups. If you don't get the job done, you're going to be falling behind in experience here, and that's a lot of experience for 20 minutes into the game.
Well, here comes a little bit of a smoke up. So does the side of VN. They're on the higher ground. They don't spot it out. They may be able to find PSL. This is a big kill for the side of VN if they actually get it. There comes the stun out from the Nyx. But the Dark Pulse is going to be down. Chelsea looking for their prime target in the backlines. And going to be carted out here both by Winter Wyvern and the PSL. Stuns out the Winter Wyvern. There's the Omni Slash. Assassinate going to come through. And it does go down. DK hits the deck. And the rest of the EN squad just backs off, throwing DK to the Wolves. And not the kind of play that you actually needed there. They did have a little bit of an advantage being on the high ground, but whoever used that force staff here from the side of VnR
came. Hurricane Pike.
Was it himself? He must have used it on himself.
Yeah, it's a Hurricane Pack for himself, as looks like the Ogre Magi might actually go down. He is pretty tanky. Nope, they're going to focus their attention over onto the Shadow Demon. He's going to go down. Multicast over onto the Luna, but I mean, multicast over onto the Winter Wyvern, but still with the Assassinate. Double kill for PSL here. And just talking about this, like, the side of Veneration, they smoke up, and the Enigma immediately spots out the smoke, and they still decide to walk down towards the low ground. Chelsea just in the front line there as well. It's probably just a little bit of miscommunication. As soon as you see the sniper just randomly appear, you know they've smoked up as 3 or 4 heroes, and as soon as you 3 or 4 versus just the 2 of them, DK and Enigma don't really pop out the biggest amount of damage. Sure, they got sustain, but they don't really pop out a lot of damage, so it's a little bit of miscommunication. As soon as they saw the sniper pop out, they should have just made a run for it.
Things are not going very favorable for Ian at the moment. Just looking at the vision at the moment, I mean, VnR don't have the best vision at the moment, but I mean, compared to what Ian has 0 wards on the map, very little of knowing of what's actually happening around the map, and slight problem, especially with the Nyx kind of rummaging around, don't really know where he's going to be, trying to give that vision game to the side of VnR. I mean, bottom lane, it seems like VnR's got the sentries covered in trumps pretty much. But, yeah, our poor Nyx, they do drop a sentry now here in the mid lane, just trying to catch out the rotations here from the Nyx as well. So now, wards are finally being placed here on the map. Going to aid that vision game towards the side of Ian for just a moment. But PSL could be in a little bit of trouble here. It's Chelsea rotating around the backlines of the trees. Instant force staff, going to TP out. Can Chelsea get there in time? He doesn't. And Dragontail not going to be able to keep him in play.
Yeah, Dragontail was melee stun, so it was gonna be a difficult kill. Great, again, just game sense coming out from the side of Veneration Esport. It's PSL just being spot on with that, but they are gonna make another attempt for this tier 2 tower here. Like, it's, you really sort of want to have all tier 2 towers by 25, all outer tier towers down by 25 minutes into the game, 30 minutes into the game. But it's so difficult up against Winter Blast, plus the Assassinate from Sniper. Like, this is one thing I did say in the draft, is if the early push doesn't come through from from energy. The heroes are pretty squishy. The Luna's extremely squishy. Sure, she's got herself now a lot of stats, but still pretty squishy up against Winter Blast plus Assassinate. And Tower is probably going to go down. Next Assassin wants to initiate on this.
Well, there comes out the stun from the Ogre Magi. They're going to get the tier 2 tower in the back lines. Going to actually get denied by the sniper. Great game Saints there. But there comes the defensive disruption from the Shadow Demon. Assassinate out onto the Ogre Magi. Not even taking a chunk of damage. There comes the Winter's Curse down onto Luna, taking a little bit of damage. But the rest of the team actually just tickles in the back lines. Omni Slash going off here onto the Shadow Demon as well as Pluck. Now we've got Momo trying to separate the rest of the team. And the big fights are happening over here. Wazoo picking up the kill on Mumo eventually, being completely separated from his team. Now they're looking for more. Chelsea, beautiful TP coming in from Anthem, just trying to block off the DK. And TKC picking up a double kill on the Juggernaut. And things going very favorable here for the side of VnR. Only being able to pick up the one kill on the ES, but immediately TP's back and comes into the fray.
Yeah, and just the hero stats tells the story as well. You got TK sitting at 0 for 5. You got Luna sitting at 3 for 1. While on the other side, you got Juggernaut sitting at 5 for 0 for 5. And you got the Sniper sitting at 7, 1, and 6. So these heroes have been involved in a lot of fights. And of course, a lot of fights mean a lot of gold here. Sniper, he is well on his way to completing the Mjolnir. He's got himself... Oh, okay. All of a sudden, he just decides to peg. I don't even know where he died. Like, he died underneath his tier 2 tower. Did you see what happened there?
No, I actually
just heard the assassinate go off, so must have just been snubbed out by that, right? Yeah.
High ground vision.
Yeah, must have been. Pretty cool. Well, they are going to get themselves a rush here as well, so it's just going to make things even worse. You got net worth sitting at almost 6,000. You got experience sitting at almost 8,000 or 7,500. Favor of veneration here, and as a pushing lineup, that's not what you want to be doing here. So if I was on the side of energy, I'd be trying to. If I was a captain on the side of energy, I'd just be trying to calm down my boys here. Just try and play out this game because you can still try and make things happen. You can still try and split push out the map. You can try and carry on prolonging the game, but prolonging this game is just gonna like. Depending on how your team really reacts to it, just prolonging this game could just lead to the inevitable. But on the other side, it does give you enough time to think about what you could be doing in the next game.
It really could be. It could be those opportunities where you say, right, okay, we're going to just maybe put this one under the belt. Let's take some time, calm ourselves down. Let's prepare for the next game. How are we going to run it? What we're going to do? Or maybe their mind's still in this game and they actually do want to actually bring the win out here in this first game.
You always want to win. And that's the one thing that can't be denied, but it's just going to be so difficult going high ground up against the sniper once he does have that completed Mjolnir. I can never pronounce it.
Oh, Anthem playing extremely well. They're bringing down the Shadow Demon. Pretty easy. Even tries to disrupt himself, not being able to actually dispel that magnetize or endure that duration there. So strike does go down. Nice play there from the side of Anthem. Actually gets a couple of rotations from his teammates in case there's a little bit of backup coming up. And Enigma is actually, quick on the fingers, actually dodging out Anthem and not going to be able to be brought down there. But Wazoo maybe looking for a little bit more here. There is no detection. They're going to spot out Pretty Boy here on Pluck.
Yeah, the Enigma must know, though. The Enigma must know that there's heroes out. There's no way your Earth Spirit, the enemy Earth Spirit, just jumps in like that if there's no other heroes there. And if the Enigma's the only one down there, he needs to get the heck out. And that's exactly what he did. So just having that game sense just to read a step ahead, if you want to call it that. Or just read what's coming.
Yeah, it's always having... It's like when I play techies. It's always that problem of knowing what's happening around the map. And I mean, you may not even have bombs in a certain lane, but you always kind of generating a fear for a team to actually push out because there's bombs, i.e. in this game you've got a Wazoo. And a Wazoo is that threat that you can't literally push out. And it's kind of forcing the side of Ian to actually buddy system up here so that you don't get actually caught out from the Knicks. And they pretty much give tier 2 for free.
Yeah, 100% here as Plick just randomly strolling through the enemy side of the map where the rest of his team isn't at and just dies. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you just run around on the enemy side of the map.
Can't really say what they were thinking, what Plick was thinking there. But they're going to try and defend this tier 2. It's on half HP at the moment. As soon as they drop that, it's going to mean the shrines are going to be open. They can start working on the shrines, putting in an extra couple of gold in their pockets. But at the moment, things are not looking too good for Ian. Although the only upside at the moment is Luna is still sitting top of the net worth charts. I mean, she's got 16.5k. She's building herself. Yeah, she's building herself towards the butterfly. I think it's actually in her pack.
Out.
Yeah. And next going to be on a BKB. So once that BKB's up, we're going to probably see a go sign here from the side of VN. And once that happens, I mean, then how do you see the game faring?
Yeah, it could even out a little bit more. I mean, Dragonite, he's also picked up his Shadowblade now. It is in the career. No Dragon Lance, so I'm actually such a huge fan of the Dragon Lance, to be honest. But I guess if he doesn't want to go for it, if he feels like he doesn't, or is too late to go back for it, then that's okay as well. I just feel like it's a good item, especially the Hurricane Park. You're able to kite around people, and that's what DK does struggle sometimes with. It's just having lacking the movement speed, or just always being kited around here. As Wazoo is going to go straight over into the Enigma. Enigma just assassinated down. He's just going to drop dead.
Omni-Slash coming out here onto the side of VN, landing on Pluck, absorbing a lot of the damage, gets multi-casted under the tower here, taking a bit of damage, makes you go down, the cold embrace, quick on the fingers there, and may actually, well, it would be a good opportunity to actually bring down that Aegis, considering that they expended such a lot, and they actually lost the Enigma in that little tussle, and definitely not working out in favor here. They do send out the illusions here from the Luna, trying to just keep this creep wave pushed backward, actually expending the glyph on a tier 2 tower. While this is all happening, they got Chelsea pushing out the bot lane, trying to see if he can actually force the side of Veneration back. And it may have actually worked out. They're actually looking at escaping here. And Anthem also going to be able to... Oh, he actually misses that roll.
Kills. Yeah. Oh, the stun. What a player, but he is going to get stunned up by Chelsea, teeping over onto the shrine. So they do get themselves a kill. 370 gold does go in the way in Chelsea's pockets. So it's okay. Anthem almost managed to get an outplay there, so well played.
Yeah, and we've got Luna. Luna's changed her build. She's actually going to go Skadi. How do you feel about the Skadi as opposed to the BKB? That's changed.
Yeah, but what does BKB really do for you? Like, it almost does nothing. Like, what does BKB do against those heroes? Like, I actually like this. This is a lot better. He realizes that all he needs to do is survive in the team fights, and as long as he survives and makes his illusion strong for his SD just to be able to copy, I think this is the right play. This is exactly the right play. Like, after he gets the Skadi, he could go back for the BKB if he feels necessary, but this is 100% the right play here. You don't always need the BKB, and sometimes getting the later BKB is better, because you're going to have a 10-second BKB at the 40-minute mark. Now, good luck dealing with a Luna with a 10-second BKB, 10-second of magic immune at 40 minutes into the game. So that does make things a little bit more trickier. So I must say, I like this pickup here, but he could be in trouble now.
Yo, you got Strike in the backlines. Actually, Glimmer caped up. They're trying to find the Luna. They don't in the backlines, though. They focus their intentions down here on Chelsea, taking a chunk of damage, fighting under the shrapnel. And now the Midnight Pulse is down. He does get actually disrupted up here from the Shadow Demon. Assassinate onto the Ogre Magi. He does go down as well. Now, DK being Glimmer caped up, but it doesn't help when you got a Blade Fury Jugger spinning on your IS. Now, Luna trying to go ham here, throwing out that ulti, but it's not going to help, as the Carapace from the Nyx is going to keep her in place.
Oh, so close.
And so many going down here. Full 5 team wipe coming out here for the side of EN. Only losing 1 for the side of Veneration. Someone had their Prenutro this morning.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's where the BKB could have helped the Lunas. Like, if the Luna had a BKB in that fight and didn't get Spike Carapaced up, Luna could have potentially got herself the kill on the Juggernaut, and that would have made things okay. Would have been a 4 for 2 trade. It's not going to be perfect, but it would have definitely been okay, and it would have probably stopped this push that's coming in now from the side of Veneration.
Yeah, it's going to be super scary. They're going to push up high ground. Buyback is available on the Luna. Don't know if they actually want to burn it out, if they're going to actually just sack the mid-tier 3 tower as well as the racks. But TKC just going to Blade Fury, just going to try and escape. The threat of the black hole is online. And like you said, not seeing too many black holes. But we may have to actually see a black hole for them to actually change things around here.
Yeah, this is where the Enigma's role changes. Like, in the draft, the idea behind the Enigma was get that early mechanism, push towers with Eidolons and mechanism. Now it's like, let's try and make sure we get off a good black hole, because a good black hole could potentially win you this fight. He does have himself the blink dagger, is going back for the BKB that you did speak about during the draft phase. So his role has changed now. It's definitely looking for a more core-ish kind of role here. He wanted the draft idea was to be a little bit more supportive. Now it's like, I really need to get something done here. So there's a lot of weight on the Enigma's shoulder here. Just looking at Dragonaut, how far is he from his BKB? Still needs about another 1,500
Pretty much the
gold.
scroll. He pretty much needs the scroll.
Yeah, so about another 1,300, 1,400 gold.
I mean, the pushing power from Ian is really good up against pretty much any other team besides from what Veneration has got. The Shrapnel as well as the Splinter Blast is just doing so much work, and that's where the Enigma now starts to fall off, and her having to actually change roles, change that idea of providing that early pushing power. Now is going to make those big plays, those big black hole plays.
It's also a lot easier for the side of Veneration to push high ground than it is for the side of Energy Esports. Energy Esports, sure, they've got their Shadow Demon Luna combination, or they've got the Dragonaut, whichever one you really want to use. But on the other side, you've just got a sniper who's just going to be shooting from the low ground from like a mile away, and if anybody does engage on him, you just pop. Ooh, there's actually action happening there.
Oh wow! Wazoo getting that Vendetta off. Exact. Pop goes the Weasel. He goes down. So does the Enigma. And now 2 down here for the side of Ian. This could be. This is massive here for the side of VnR. This is the opportunity for them to push higher ground. They have actually just popped out the glyph. Going to try and defend this tier 3. Shrapnel comes down. Going to provide that high ground vision, and disruption coming out here, providing those Luna illusions, trying to see if they can actually make something happen here. There comes the jump in from Anthem, pushing out Luna. There comes the assassinate. Luna's down, and she's going to hit the deck. Buyback is available. This is the time to come back in, Mrs. Luna. And the side of VnR trying to defend their little hard side. Anthem very low HP in the backlines, though. Going to be very difficult to actually pick him off, and this may actually be the call for them to actually get out. They got to tier 3, mission accomplished, and I think they're just going to back off. Hopefully see if Rosh is back, and he's not. He's going to be back in the next 5 seconds, and as TKC leaves the Rosh pit.
Luckily for him, he's going to walk back in.
How crazy was that? In a matter of a second, TKC spots out the Rosh. He's back and
smoked up. Energy want to take a fight here. They know that the Luna's just spent out a buyback, so they want to try and take a fight. But are they going to actually be able to spot anybody else? I think the smoke was spotted as well.
I think it was under the wards.
Oh my god, exactly. It was under the ward. It's been spotted out. Anthem walks up towards the high ground now, just tanking a gank basically. The Eclipse used. Winter Wyvern's Curse. They're just going to beat down on the Dragonaut here. Dragonaut's going to start off with no HP. You already got the Enigma down. Earth Spirit's about to drop, but it's just an Earth Spirit. He tanked the gank.
Oh, Wazoo, and a little bit of pressure, being kept alive from the Winter Wave, and they just can't bring him down. He's staying alive. Wazoo lives through it. Now, Plick under a huge amount of trouble. He does go down. Big bouldering coming out from ES, trying to find more. But no, Ian Strike picks up the kill on Wazoo. Now, PSL in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, there comes the Cold Embrace. Going to keep him alive, but Shadow Demon picking up the kill here on the Winter Wave, and now Anthem in a little bit of trouble. He does go down as well. So almost a full 5 team wipe coming out here for the side of Ian. All of a sudden, Ian Strike picking up an ultra kill. Yo, someone called in the nukes.
Dude, he's got himself 4,500 gold and he's just going to go down.
Giving TKC hunted down the Shadow Demon and says, no, that's my job trying to pick up the ultra kills. And all of a sudden, Strike picking up an ultra kill, but then giving it straight back to the Juggernaut. I mean, I thought I'd seen it all.
Yeah, I thought the Scotty was a good call from Luna to pick that up, and he goes back for the BKB. BKB just changed that fight around for him. He was able to run around, get himself an Eclipse off, do a ton of damage as well. So BKB paying off. No Spy Carapace stun. So good choice by him. Turning back for the BKB. Juggernaut. Refusal Blade level 2 now up on him.
I feel so bad for the Enigma though. He tried to blink in, try to get that black hole off onto the 3 players in the back lines just under the shrine. But ES getting that silence off, preventing that black hole. I mean, that was, I think that
yeah, what a player, man.
I mean, Ian did really well in that team fight, but it could have gone so much better if Mumu actually got his black hole off.
Yeah, like Anthem has been doing a lot of work this game. I really, really didn't like the Overspirit pick, and I'll carry on saying it, but it's worked out. Like, Anthem has been playing absolutely insane. He's been playing out of his rocker, to be honest. Like, tanking the gank there, they spotted the gank, they spotted the smoke, and they just decided, pop the Overspirit up towards the high ground. As soon as something pops out, roll away, throw out your stuns, throw out your spells, do what your hero does best, and just create space, and Sniper just right-clicked as much as he could. Sure, he went down. Luna got himself... no kills. He got himself 4 assists because Shadow Demon got himself the ultra kill.
Well, just looking at after that team fight, the net worth graph has actually gone back in favor of Ian. Not drastically, about 5,000 gold. I mean, at this point in the game, it's quite a substantial amount. Looking at the XP also jumping back in Ian's favor. But as VnR come back closer towards the mid lane, that graph is pointing ever so slightly back to VnR's favor. So, I mean, VnR really clamping down the noose here and keeping the side of Ian in their base.
Now, this is also one thing I do like about this new talent system is in the previous patches, Luna would have never survived that previous team fight. But just looking at her talents, she's gone for 150 health, she's gone for plus 10% magic resistance, and she's gone for plus 50 in stats. Like, these are all...
the tank Luna.
Yeah, exactly. Like it builds her up tankier. In 6.8, she would have just died and the game would have been over. But able to survive that one up, and all thanks to the new talent system. So, good job, OS Frog.
Yeah, I mean, it can really make things really OP. And I mean, when you start looking at the supports and you start looking at the talent trees now, looking at Enigma, you've got a talent tree option of either 300 health or the 30-second respawn time.
The 30-second respawn time is just so OP. Like, there's just no two ways about that. Like, you just go for that. I'm pretty sure. Like, what does the 300 health give you? As an Enigma, you're there for 2 jobs now. You're there to try and get a good black hole off, and you're there to get your mechanism off. The 300 HP is not going to do anything for you. However, the 30-second respawn timer at this stage in the game is going to mean you're going to be respawning in 30 seconds instead of 60 seconds. And that's key, I think. Like, having heroes up as Blade Fury blink in, midi racks under siege.
Yeah, and they can't really stop it. They do pop out the glyphs. The glyph is done. PSL going to just work on those illusions a little bit there. And I mean, the siege coming out here from VnR is massive. They do get the melee racks at the moment. Only range left in the mid lane. But without VnR actually completely committing, getting a lane of racks, or one of the racks is down, that is pretty massive. Now TKC jumping here into the bot lane, trying to get something done. Does actually Blade Fury out. Not going to actually be able to stop him. Chelsea, now Dragon forms up. There comes the BKB. Oh, no. And VnR is now on the charge out. Does Chelsea actually find the sniper? He does. Get forced off the way. There's Momo. Going to try and get that black hole off. He immediately gets Omni Slash from the Jugger. Pretty boy, he's going to get Cold Embrace up. Going to keep himself alive just a little bit longer. But there's the Eclipse coming out from the Luna. He's going to get actually disrupted here from the Shadow Demon. TKC in the mix of things. But Luna, now the hot pot of initiation. Yeah, TKC going down. There comes the black hole, catching out the sniper. This is massive, but it does go down. Now ES in the backlines does go down, getting off their magnetize, causing a chunk of damage here, but Luna bringing down the sniper. Now a 1 versus 1, the Luna versus the Jugger just coming back from his Ags respawn. Now Luna trying to see if she can survive out. Purge going to be used, and big crit coming out from TKC, 523 crit damage, and Jugger, the lone survivor, and that Aegis doing wonders here for the side of VnR, just showing you the strength of getting that Aegis up.
Thank goodness they had that Aegis. So double buybacks from both supports here. The worst that could happen is Plick just TPs in. Plick should never have been there. You know, the disruption is over into the illusions. I think the Juggernaut's still going to probably get the lane of racks here. Yeah, he's going to just... Blade Fury could go down here if they're able to get the Ignite off plus a little bit of extra damage. They need the Ignite. They really need the Ignite. Nope.
Pulled out on Blink. Too good. Too good. Even top lane is pushing in, putting a little bit of pressure there in the top lane. While that's all going down, mid lane of Rex goes down to the creeps as well. So now 2 lanes of Rex down for EN. Top lane of Rex, and that's as good as buying a drink for the missus.
More or less, yeah. But I must say, there's Luna in that fight. Like, towards the end there, like, she tried to cut around the Juggernaut and just try to juke it out. Luna is sitting with the Butterfly. She could have probably hoped for a couple of lucky procs on the Butterfly that the Juggernaut doesn't hit her. and then in that way just like sort of try to man fight up against the Juggernaut instead of just running for the hills, because maybe she got a little bit of lifesteal back. Who knows? Like, but I don't think it would have changed anything either. So it's tomato, but what's the saying? Tomato, potato, something along those.
Tomato, potato.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. So it would have just ended up being that one here. As Juggernaut actually blinks up towards the top here. No, Chelsea, if he goes down here, this could be quite bad. I don't think he has buyback either.
Oh, he even popped the BKB. They actually may look at turning this. Finds out the next. Does get stunned up. Not looking at doing more, but there's the Winter's Curse. Pluck. Gonna be smashing away his own teammate, but now we've got Godlike Spree coming out here from TKC, picking up the kill here on Pluck. Gem is on the deck. They picked that up, recovered it easily. Now Charles has been brought down here by TKC. Does get forced off the way. Going to try and shrine himself up. And now comes out the spin, but the Blade Fury keeping himself alive, embraced. He's going to also do some work there. Anthem taking a chunk. There's the black hole catching out 2, catching out 3, and this could be enough. Luna picking up the kill here on the next, and now they're looking to actually bring down the PSL. It's not going to happen. He's on the higher ground, but TKC brings down the Enigma, and that's going to be pretty easy. And now the 4 players here from the side of VnR stacking together, but they're going to eventually bring down the Luna as well, and double kill going in favor of VnR. Bar back on the Luna. DK still alive. They're going to try and see if they can make something happen here. This is the last lane of Rax. And Ian throwing out that Lucent Beam, just trying to slow down the Jugger. But PSL just right-clicking like a madman. Anthem blinking and getting that stun off, now bouldering away, keeping himself alive. And Luna trying as much as he can to prevent the Jugger from getting that last lane of Rex. TP coming in here from Plick, gets the multicast off onto TKC. He's going to spin it away. And Ian managing to defend the one range Rex that is standing in the way of VnR's Mega Creeps.
Yeah, there's still a range Rax in the bottom, but again, it's just tomato, potato kind of effort. Like the range Rax at this stage doesn't really make a difference. I could have seen Energy holding out with 1.5 lanes of Rax here with SD Luna combination, but now once basically 2 lanes have gone down, it does become a lot more difficult. Luna is trying to build into the MKB because Juggernaut does have himself his own butterfly now as well.
Well, Jugger also has the MKB as well, so now Butterfly is pretty much null and void.
Yes and no, because the Sniper doesn't have his... Oh, he actually does have an MKB as well. Okay, then Butterfly is just there for I guess.
I suppose if he wants to flutter Fairy and run a little bit faster. Maybe that could have helped against the Purge if he actually activated that little bit of extra movement speed, but essentially I think Jugger would have just chased him down, regardless in that earlier bottom fight.
Yeah, probably would have just hunted him down like a little dog anyway, so probably right about that. So they're just going to pop out the SD Illusions, just carry on trying to push out the lanes here. Wazoo, again, just sitting in Viz. He could actually get himself an easy kill. He misses the Pagaherpes.
Oh, that's huge. Now Luna BK being up, so does Chelsea. Cold Embrace going to keep Anthem alive just a little bit longer. Now Plick trying to find a target. Strike dancing around in no man's land, and Mumu getting magnetized up. They can't stop the boulder. They were trying to find Anthem. They couldn't actually find him. There comes a disruption from Strike on the high ground. And while that happens, he's going to actually be brought out. But in the meantime, Jugger getting off a massive kill here on the Enigma. Without the black hole, there comes the sheep out from Wazoo. Just keeping Luna at bay. But now comes the Jugger. Right-clicking down the right. Luna Illusion does go down eventually. And I think this is pretty much all she wrote. Shadow Demon going to hit the deck. Only DK alive. And good game. Well played is called out here from the side of Ian. Tap out. The tile's been thrown in. And VnR taking game 1.
Yeah, 46 minutes into the game, extremely well played by Veneration here, I must say. Again, I did say they got outdrafted here in my opinion, but Energy just not able to focus on the early stages. The DK getting ganked twice before 3 minutes, I think it was. So that put a huge dent into Energy's plan. So very, very well played by Veneration.
Well, yeah, we're going to just take a look at the last couple of steps before the game does go up. So we're pretty much looking at the net worth of the players. I mean, Jugger sitting with 31,000 gold, then PSL. I mean, these are massive for the side of Veneration.
Yeah, and remember at one stage the Luna was leading in terms of net worth as well. So yeah, they're not going to be too happy with themselves. They definitely are going to be kicking themselves. Like I said, it was just that early laning stage where the DK died twice before 3 minutes. The Yoga Magi just not doing what I thought he would do, because if he'd run up towards that offlane, just helped out the Enigma and so run like a dual lane, the Winter Wyvern and the Earth Spirit would have never been allowed to leave that lane, and thus sort of freeing things up for your Luna down bottom. The Nyx Assassin would have always got levels, but there would have never been any ganks in the middle lane, and that's for me was the crucial part of this, was the Earth Spirit basically just taking the game away from Energy in the early stages.
Yeah, did an unbelievably good job there in the mid lane. I mean, putting that DK under a lot of pressure. And I mean, we were hoping that they'd actually be able to put enough pressure on the lane to actually force ES into the lane and not actually get his roam off, which that obviously didn't happen because Jugger had a pretty much easy farm going up against Enigma. And I think they were willing to actually sack the Nyx. And even though Wazoo had a couple of kills, I mean, even though Wazoo died a couple of times, I mean, the ES was just getting so much work done around the map. It's pointless now locking him down into a lane where his usefulness actually drops off.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can do. Like, that's generally what you do. You just sack up your Nyx Assassin into the off lane. Like, you just throw him there, let him get experience. Like, he's always going to get levels, and as soon as he hits level 6, he comes straight back into the game, more or less. So it's just... There was... the Nyx Assassin, like, it's not really a hero that you need to focus on. So you just let him get his levels, you just let him do his thing, and you just hope that you come out of the laning stage strong. And Energy, again, just weren't able to do that. And I'm going to keep pointing back to it. It's that those early rotations coming out from the Earth Spirit, getting the ganks off with the Shrapnel. I think he took 2 points in Shrapnel and 1 point in the range before... before you got into the mini bash and that sort of good stuff. So it was.
No, he went to 1-1-1 build. He went to 1-1-1 build and then went straight into Shrapnel. So things turned out. You were able to. PSL was able to get what he needed out, and I mean that's pretty much going to wrap up the post game analysis. Going to wait for the next game to get going, but I mean hopefully we can see some big things coming here for. For both teams. VnR seems to have Ian's number here at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the lineups here, and who is actually the better team here? Like, in terms of skill, I'd say both teams are pretty evenly matched up. Like, but Plick and Chelsea on the side of Energy, they are seasoned campaigners. Momo as well, if I'm thinking about the right guy. PSL, Wazoo, Anthem, TKC as well. Pretty sure I remember TKC. Yeah, like these guys are all seasoned campaigners as well. So anything could happen in this game. Next game, Energy. I like their draft. I'm a big fan of these sort of lineups where you decide, okay, boys, let's group up early. Let's try and get an early mechanism up on one of our heroes, and let's go for it. So I liked Energy's draft. They just weren't able to execute again. Just that Earth Spirit.
Yeah, and. I guess, yeah, it was hectic. I mean, even the Nyx being able to break those black holes were really devastating. I mean,
yeah. How many black holes did we actually see that game? I think we saw 2 black holes that were worthy of being called black holes.
Yeah, I think around about there. So that Nyx really did a lot of work. Even getting the Shadow Luna combination. I mean, generally you'd say, okay, well, this draft was won by Ian. But then all of a sudden, Veneration come out of the starting blocks with crazy things going on in their head and make it work.
They made it work for themselves, but it's that last game. It's something that Energy something that Energy just need to put behind them. Like again, I really thought that Energy could have run a dual offlane, and that dual offlane would have forced all 3 heroes to stay in the safe lane for Veneration, and then DK wouldn't have free farmed the middle lane because you can't really free farm as a melee hero up against Sniper, but you do fine. But Earthbird able to roam around and destroyed the DK, and that was basically that. I think the Sniper also got himself an extremely early Dragon Lance as well. I think it was at between 10 and 13 minutes, he had the Dragon Lance and was already building into the Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah, dude. Like German.
I just call it Thor's weapon.
Thor's weapon. That's a nice way to put it as well.
Yeah, running around the God of Thunder. Well, for those of you just joining us into game number 2, it's going to be EN Esports, going to be going up against Veneration. For those of you just joining us, Veneration took game 1 off EN in a very surprising manner. at least for ourselves, giving the guys a great showing here on the ES, doing wonders actually. And we're now in game 2. The bans have already come out. Ian banning out the Wisp as well as the ES, respecting that pickup here from VnR, and VnR banning out the Underlord as well as the Ember Spirit. But now Ian picking up the Slardar as well as being on the dire side of the map. Does Slardar still gain from being on the dire side, where Rosh is now kind of positioned in a more, say, 50-50 kind of positioning, or does the dire still
You say 50-50, but last time I checked the stats, it was something retarded like 62 to 38 or something like that in terms of Radiant favored games. So the new Rosh bit is sort of worked its way
favored.
Yeah, exactly. But just having the Slardar is just a decent hero overall. You can put him as your 3 position, you can put him as your 4 position. He's always going to get farmed no matter what. As soon as he gets his Blink Dagger up, he's going to be even more devastating. In the early stages, he's of course got himself his sprint.
And all of a sudden, VnR pick up this.
It's just a good... be going for some sort of Mind's Armor strat. Like I said, you can put Slardar into that 4 position, so it still leaves the draft very, very wide open. Veneration pick up a hero that was sort of like king towards this end of 6.89 or something like that. Yeah, so he was sort of the king back then. I'll be interested to see where Veneration does run it. I don't see it playing support role. I see it either being played in the off lane or in the middle lane, unless Veneration want to go for some sort of aggressive trial lane, throw the Sand King towards the safe lane. Disruptor's pretty handy in an aggressive trial lane.
Well, it's pretty good at dealing with the Slardar. I mean, Slardar blinks in, you get that glimpse off, send him away. Even using the kinetic field to actually just block him out. And Sand King...
You want to glimpse a Slardar blink in, though, because Slardar blinks in, he crushes, and he wants to get out of the fight. So using a glimpse on a Slardar blink, I think, is pretty much wasted. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not...
I can get behind you on that. Once he blinks in, crushes, I mean, he's blown his load, and it's pretty much all he offers at that point in time. But chasing down heroes with that sprint, where the rest of Veneration doesn't actually have that kind of movement speed, could kind of become a little bit helpful. But I suppose in team fights, like you said, he wants to blink in, get that crush off, and then run away. So maybe the glimpse is also just there, or the disruptor particularly is just there to actually maybe provide a lot more team fight control, and trying to deal with these heroes that cast all these spells and provide a little bit more for the side of VnR.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what VnR's next couple of bans are, just to... are we paused? Okay, no, I think I just lagged there for a second. Yeah, so the ban out the Darks here, again, doesn't reveal too much. So they're probably thinking about the Slardar being your 4 position. And with the Rubik being there as your 5 position, it's not exactly where you want your Rubik, but it's probably where he's going to end up there. You can probably deduce from this that Energy have picked up their 2 supports and aren't revealing their cores just yet.
Well, looking at the Rubik pick now, often I've seen a Rubik being picked up, and then sometimes even teams still picking into an Invoker or something like that. Do you think that Ian is trying to use the Rubik pickup to actually try and deny a Veneration, those big spellcasters like your Invokers? Maybe if the Enigma comes out, maybe these big spellcasters that Rubik can actually look at turning around and causing a little bit of disaster amongst the VnR squad.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah, I can't even disagree with you, even though I love to disagree. Rubik...
Hang on, wait. I'm bookmarking this. In history. The day Pooza agrees with me. I never thought I'd actually see the day.
No. I said I can't disagree with you.
Oh, technically. Well, then status quo predicts that you actually do agree.
Yeah, so I can't disagree with you. Like, the Rubik's just a decent hero overall, but he's not... in my opinion, he's not the best lane support. I think that's the one thing you generally want when you have a Slardar as your 4 position. You want an extremely strong lane support. And when I'm thinking of lane supporters, I'm thinking of heroes like the Dazzle. I'm thinking of heroes like a Disruptor. Heroes that are able to do a lot of damage just from one spell, or a lot of right-click damage, or able to enable your carry to do a lot of damage to the enemy offlaner, and Rubik just isn't one of those. You got Juggernaut Luna banned out by Energy, you got Darkseer Weaver being taken out of the pool there by Veneration here, so I'm interested to see what Veneration come up with here, because in the last game, I did say I did not like their draft at all. I felt like they were out-drafted, so I'll be interested to see what they put on the table here.
Well, I mean, Ian did band out the Luna. You're surprised to have a little bit more success on the Luna SD combo. This time around, not even favoring a ban or a pickup yet for the SD. Obviously being completely outplayed in the previous game. Teams aren't even looking towards either of those. Well, they've banned out the Luna, but not even looking towards the Shadow Demon just yet as a form of support for other team. If they decide to run the Slardar in the position 4, Ian is still looking for their offlaner, mid and core, but VnR, they decide to actually grab the Sven, and I believe after this minor update, Sven has actually received a little bit of a buff.
You actually caught me out on that one. I'm not actually sure. I know his talents are pretty strong, but other than that, I've got no idea. But yeah, other than Juggernaut and Lifestealer, there aren't really many melee carries, so to speak.
So who would go up a grade against the Sven? I mean, Sven is just one of those.
Around. I guess they've really. Luna doesn't really do too well up against Energy Esports could pick themselves up a sniper if they wanted to themselves. The ranged form Lone Druid is still there as well. The ranged form Lone Druid actually does extremely well up against Sven because he's able to kite around the Sven, especially once he's worked into his third item. So that means once you get your Dragon Lance up, once you get your Maelstrom up and into the Skadi, Sven doesn't really touch you because A, you've got a chance of rooting him, and even if the bet does die, sure, you give up 300 gold, but Sven is going to have the Skadi slow on him, and then you've got Rubik kiting him around, you've got Slardar kiting him around as well, and voila.
All right, could everyone please that's participating, please bow down to our master Pooza, as he calls out the Lone Druid, and it is going to be the Lone Druid. Could you foresee perhaps an SF mid here? I mean, it does really well against the Warcry with his aura, his negative aura. Do you think they may actually decide to put Slardar in the off lane and pick up the Venge? I think they need to deal with the Warcry from the Sven, that armor assist that is going to give the side of VnR.
You're talking for energy, SF for energy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, SF for energy.
Yes and no. I'd more lean towards the no just because of this recent pickup, the Visage. Because now you've got Visage and Disruptor that is going to just roam onto your middle lane, just keep killing your SF over and over and over again. So SF is a decent way of dealing with the Warcry if you want to look at it like that from Sven. But it's also a hero that Sven just jumps onto and kills straight away. And it's also a hero that does poorly in lane with heroes that can gank. And if you've got Disruptor there with a glimpse, you've got Visage there with a slow, and you've got a +1 in the middle lane, anything, like literally anything. If you've got a Pugna there as well, SF is 100% dead. So I'd say no.
So what could Energy actually jump onto? We've still got a couple in the pool. You've got the Quap, you've got the TA, we've got the Storm. I don't think Storm would be a very viable pickup. You still do have the Invoker that Ian could actually pick up. But, I mean, what could Ian now look at putting in the mid lane?
Quap, Invoker, TA, they're all good choices. Like, I actually don't mind Quap here at all. I mean, Disruptor's pretty squishy. Visage as well. That's a good way of clearing out the birds. Again, the dagger just kites around. Sven is able to... The Queen of Pain is also able to run around. I mean, blink away from the Sven as well. So, again, a lot of ways of kiting, but Quap's a little bit squishy. OD's probably not the most viable. Generally, what you want to do with a Lone Druid is you want to pick up heroes that fight around him. So, Rubik and Slardar are heroes that fight early on and can fight around him, that can help with pushes. Silencer's a hero that can fight around him. But I'm not sure if I like it in the middle lane here.
Do you think this could maybe... Okay, let's switch things up. Let's play around a little bit here. What happens if they put the Lone Druid mid? Silencer is core with the Slardar in the off lane, and now they're looking for, say, their 5th or their 4th pickup here, or their 4th position for Ian.
Like, you could do that, or you could just run an aggressive tri lane with Silencer, Rubik, and Slardar. with the silencer being the core, you throw a lone druid towards the safe lane solo, and you pick up another mid laner, which Veneration are still expecting energy to pick up. So they are expecting something along those lines where either the Slardar's the off laner or your silencer is running an aggressive Trine, because with the curse is now a slow. So you got the curse into lift into stun. So there's a lot of mobility impairing abilities here on the side of energy. So the potential for an aggressive tri lane is there, but I'm not sure if it's good up against Disruptor Visage Sven.
Well, we're going to soon have our predictions come true as Ian is looking for their fifth and final pick. That will kind of tell us more or less the way that Ian's going to want to run their draft. But it's first up, it's going to be VnR. They've got very little time on the board here for them, and Invoker is the next pickup here for the side of Ian. So all things revealed, going to be a that's going to be a support silence. So it's carry lone druid and off lane Slardar with the Rubik playing position 5. So they completely ran circles around us.
Yes and no, like they could still mix it up, but either way, it doesn't really matter. The potential is there. I like this Invoker pickup because you got the alacrity over onto the lone druid. You got Rubik's potential to steal up Sven's for Warcry. You got the minus armor coming out from Sven, so there's a lot of potential to sneak an early rush here from energy. While a Razor was the final pickup on the side of Veneration Esports. It's not a hero that we see too often. To be honest, haven't seen it in 7.0.
It's not a very common pickup in this update, although a lot of teams try to run the Razor to try and steal damage from the enemy. So it's particularly the focus for the Razor is trying to deal with the lone druid, I'd suspect. Trying to.
I was just about to point out the lone druid. Like, I don't think you can steal damage from the bear, can you?
You can't, but I mean, it's the bear still putting a lot of pressure onto the Razor. So I don't know how I feel about the Razor pickup. I mean, maybe throwing it onto the silencer, but I mean, it works with his intelligence. So he may lose his base damage, but he'll still gain the intel steal that he will hope to actually gain.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting pickup. I'm not going to make a call here on the draft this time around. I'm not going to say I'm energy about drafted this out of Veneration because I got shown up in the last game. Like, I'll gladly admit to that. Looking at the lane, Sunstrike already coming out, so just doing a little bit of scouting. They didn't scout out any sort of smoke attempts. They saw everybody on the map. They did see the Disruptor TPing, so they know and have already pinged out Disruptor here.
Well, he's going to try and get that ward done, but we've also got the Rubik Pluck. Going to be trying to see if they can scout him out as well. They do actually get this deep lane ward in here from the side of VnR. So they're going to actually be able to spot that up pretty soon. But just welcoming you guys back. This is going to be game number 2 of VnR versus EN. VnR taking game 1. It's going to be Wazoo playing on ISK. Anthem going to be on a Disruptor. In the mid lane, it's going to be PSL. In the bot, it's going to be a Pretty Boy. Going to be playing our Visage. And last but not least, we're going to have TKC going to be playing our Sven. Did an amazing job early on the jug in the previous game.
Yeah, so just moving left to right on the side of Energy Esports, it's going to be Plick picking up his Rubik, Chelsea over on the Invoker. You're going to have Momo up on the Slardar down towards the off lane, so it is going to be that 3 position. It's going to be the 4 position Silencer being played by Strike, and you're going to have the Lone Druid played by C112?
Carbon 12. I think that's what he's going for.
Carbon 12. Okay, that could isn't that some sort of?
I think it's a
diamond.
I think it's a diamond. I think. Let's see if chemistry serves me correct. Maybe someone on the stream could tell us if Carbon 12 was actually a diamond. I'd actually be quite interested to know if I'm actually such a genius. But anyway, mid lane is going to be Anthem helping out PSL once again against Chelsea on the Invoker. Hopefully we can see a great showing here from an Invoker. Who doesn't enjoy a great Invoker game?
Yeah, I actually enjoy picking Invoker. Like, Invoker's fun, especially with these new talents that he's picked up. I mean, the extra damage in the early stages, or the experience gain is pretty strong as well. The attack speed towards the later spot as well, if you're going for that right-click build. But this is what Disruptor does so well. Like, this is where Wilson would just be proud. Like, you just run up to middle lane, pop a Thunderstrike, pop a Clarity, and run away, and do it all over again.
Well, shout out to Wilson playing the Disruptor. one of the best Disruptors I know. If you are listening out there, buddy, we'll never forget you.
PogChamp, never forget. So, Slardar down towards the bottom lane. He is going to get a very, very early level 2, considering that the Disruptor is just trading right clicks here with the silencer. With the glaives, I'm pretty sure Strike wins this one. Here, a Burrow Strike up towards the top lane as well. The support, just trading hits with the support there. There's no level 5 on the Lone Druid, so there isn't going to be a route. Wazoo is going to be able to quite comfortably be able to walk this one off, as Disruptor is just being a nuisance towards the Silencer, not allowing the Silencer to come in here.
Well, I mean, even looking at the way the lanes are going, Pluck doing a decent damage to put a little bit of pressure onto Wazoo. This time not being able to actually get close to those creeps to actually get that Caustic Finale off. He's actually got a 1-0-1 going on at the moment, but he can actually get trapped here. No, Burrow strikes out, puts a little bit of damage onto Pluck as he makes his exit, but first blood going on in the mid lane as PSL gets the kill on to the Silencer. A little bit of rotation, good communication there from Anthem, just getting his rotation on, even in the first game, playing that ES, doing such good work for his team.
Yeah, I think this is the only reason why I don't really like the 4 position Silencer. Yeah, just because like as a 4 position, you generally want to roam around and kill stuff, or you want to be greedy in the jungle and just farm away. But that's not the case. Like Silencer is a hero that just wants to be as greedy as possible, and he can't really be greedy because as soon as he gets greedy, Sand King's going to be able to get a lot done in this lane, and if he moves around, he's just going to get picked off as he just did.
Yeah, well, Strike trying to come in here, just farm up these creeps, and they're going to try and stick him into farming these creeps as much as he can, trying to get a little bit of farm onto the Strike. But I mean, they're going to look at playing him in a very poor position at the moment. Wazoo in a little bit of a precarious position at the moment, does actually juke out Pluck, but he does get telekinesis up, going to be brought back. Now the Bear's going to put attack on here. Do you have Strike rotating around the back? Wazoo actually going to dodge through the trees here. May actually stay alive. There comes the Burrow Strike, and he may look like he's going to just be able to walk off it. And Silencer, very underleveled, hasn't even got his last word up yet to actually put a little bit of damage on him to actually get that silence off. So, yeah, that's super unfortunate there.
There's nothing worse than the Silencer just not being able to get his level. Like, if he's not level 2 at this stage, he probably has hit it now. No, he actually hasn't hit it now. Like, it's 3 minutes into the game, and your Silencer hasn't hit level 2. Like, that's just when you're so sad. Like, you want to try and get up to global silence as early as possible. You want to have your Silencer to be able to pop out damage, because last word at level 3, or last word at level 2, one Silencer hits level 3, is a lot of damage. And the Curse as well is a pretty strong slow. In the early stages as well, so there we go. He's finally hit level 2 now, but this is not where you want your Silencer to be in.
No, it's not. But we'll see. We'll see if Strike can bring it back for his team and get that necessary XP and gain that he needs so desperately. Been doing rather well in the bot lane. Already got 25 last hits, 13 denies. Really making it hard for the Slider to actually get anything out of this. He's sitting 0-0. Visage doing a pretty good job.
It's 4 minutes in, and he's got himself almost level 4. Like, he's pretty happy with this. He's gonna get a lot of harass out, but he's most likely just gonna sprint this one off now, unless there's a Stormhammer. Oh, they do get it off, and just thanks to that Stormhammer, they're gonna get themselves a kill. Like, if he wasn't in range for that Stormhammer, they would have never got the kill. So Slider applying the pressure that he wants to, and unfortunately just being picked off that time. So it's nothing too serious. It's what offlaners do. They feed kills every now and then.
Yeah, it's their job. It's in their job description. Yeah. But the problem is kill going onto TKC. That's a little bit of a boost in economy for him. But top lane Wazoo throwing down this Caustic Finale. He's going to maybe try and bring down the Bear. He's going to right click him down. There comes the Roar. Going to force Wazoo back. Telekinesis is going to bring him back. There's the Curse. One more right click from the Silencer. And already building up the stacks on a Silencer. And this is not a position that you also want to be in on a Silence. Is giving away those early kills. Already sitting with 2 stacks in Stolen Intelligence.
Yeah, that's not too bad. But without that, without the buff to the Curse, without that 9% movement speed slow, they would have never been able to get the kill onto the Sand King. So in German, there's a word called gewöhnungsbedürftig, and that basically just means it's something that you have to get used to. Like, not a lot of people are used to playing up against Silencer. As the lift comes in through the middle lane, there's just a little Visage just casually running around here. The Sundragon's going to connect. They're going to get themselves a kill. However, there's still a lot of stolen damage up over onto the Razor. He's got himself 56 plus damage. Silencer rotates through. Cold Snap comes down as well. They get themselves the kill. 2-for-1 exchange. They do lose the Rubik. 2-for-1. It's definitely favoring the side of Ian here.
Well, I mean, Chelsea is so on point, even under so much pressure, getting that Sunstrike out, picking up the kill on, it was the Disruptor for the side of VnR. I mean, unbelievable game sense over there.
Yeah, very, very well played. So, Wazoo is level 5. What's the offlaner looking like? Slardar level 4. So, both offlaners would be pretty happy with their jobs here. I think the Sand King would be a little bit more happier because he's just forced so much more rotations. Rubik has now got himself a ward. Has also been pinged out here by the side of Veneration here. Plixars are just running around.
What lane, though? Moving in a little bit of trouble. Actually solves himself up. But TKC taking a chunk of damage. Strike throwing down the last word. Gonna actually keep Sven from actually engaging. But Pretty Boy taking a chunk of damage here. And Strike gonna just right click him down.
What?
And another kill going in favor of Strike. All of a sudden, this bloke is sitting with a couple of stacks at the moment. But now outside the Roche pit, losing the Rubik, going in favor of PSL. So around the map, picking up kills, trying to even things out. And 7 minutes in, sitting 4-4. So both teams just not giving in to each other just yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Vizard just carried on walking down the lane, like, he probably could have survived that. Like, sure, he had the movement speed slow on him, but it was wearing off as well. I'm not sure. It was a weird way. He was probably just going to be like, he was probably just saying to Sven, get the heck out of here. I'm going to tank this one for you. But I felt like it was a little bit of a misplay. I guess stuff happens. Heat of the moment kind of effort. You just want to save your carry and being this good support that Visage is. And Pretty Boy on the Winter Wife in the last game definitely had a good game. So I'm not going to fault him on any sort of mishaps that do happen.
I don't... Ooh, Sunstrike catching the Sven out here by the shrine. Okay. I mean, this ward just providing enough. They have a ward up here.
All right.
Oh, PSL. Chelsea. Oh. Well, I take back my Liverpool comment in the previous game.
Yeah, as chosen one, it isn't Carbon 12, so I'm glad you were wrong on that one. I got a message just saying that it's chosen one up on the Lone Druid. So I'm actually glad to see the Lone Druid back in the game. I used to enjoy watching RDK play it a lot. I enjoy playing the Lone Druid as well. So I'm sort of glad that he's making his way back into it. But it's difficult. He's also gone for power trades, which isn't something you see often. You generally see one sort of small item, which is either power trades or the Aquila. No, not so much Tranquils, but I generally go Brown Boots, Aquila into the Dragon Lance, because once you hit that Dragon Lance, you'll already have your first talent as well. You sort of want to have that timing at the same time. So you want to have Dragon Lance and your first talent at more or less the same time. And now he's going to be level 12 before he gets his Dragon Lance, which isn't ideal. But again, at this stage, I guess it isn't really bad, as him and Sven are basically just sitting at the top of the CS board here. They're both sitting at 61, 62 CS.
Well, here in the dire jungle, Anthem and Pretty Boy spot out Chelsea. The sentry's dropped. Ghost Walker trying to see if he can survive through it. There's the glimpse. Chelsea in a huge amount of problems here. PSL also rocks up. And Plasma failed to finish him off. Now, here comes Momo. Going to find out the Slardar. There's the kinetic field. Going to keep him in place. But Strikes here also in position. And another kill going to, goes to Plick. But... those stacks for Intel are building up here on the silence. Big problems. And Visage also going down. So, I mean, before you know it, Ian taking a dominating lead, sitting 8-5 and only losing one hero during that little tussle. I mean, Ian has come to the forefront here, and they're doing really well, trying to keep VnR just out of reach here.
Lone Druid isn't going for Dragon Lance unless he's already got it in the courier. Like, he's queued up the Maelstrom.
I think it helps him farm a lot easier. He hasn't really been put under a lot of pressure in this lane.
It does, but if he's gonna be required to fight pretty soon. Like, you've got Veneration, who have picked themselves up a Razor and a Sven. Like, these heroes fight early. Visage as well. He scales okay towards the late game, but he also wants to fight early. Sand King is going to have his Blink Dagger pretty shortly as well. And if the Sand King has his Blink Dagger, you want to have your Dragon Lance up. And I'm not sure if... I guess I can understand why he goes for it. Like you called it, it's the extra farming mobility, the extra farming speed, working back towards your Dragon Lance, I guess. I guess it's unconventional, is the problem I'm having.
Well, we'll see if it actually does pay off. If VnR actually decide to actually start pushing now, that could be a bit of a problem. Look, I mean, Wazoo's a little bit far away from his orbit. Wazoo makes you go down. You're taking a chunk of damage. Wazoo immediately burrow striking out. And
yeah, I must say, Wazoo's brave going into that lane with a level 5 Lone Druid. Like, as soon as Lone Druid hits level 5 and he's
Sunstrike!
Sunstrike!
Ooh, Wazoo! That was that was very, very close. Chelsea almost being able to pick up another sanctuary kill for his team, but now TKZ has been amplified up or has been hazed up, and we've got Chelsea's son now trying to see if he can actually just make a play here. He's got lined up at the moment. It looks like he's actually going to return, but he's got Cold Snap as well as Alcarati, so looking at putting out those right click deeps there.
So Alacrity, yeah, just going to Alacrity himself up and just carry on farming. What does Alacrity actually do this game other than buff the bear? Not the bear, but the Lone Druid himself. Sizes.
What about Silencer? You stick that on to Silencer. He's sitting with, I think, 8 stolen intelligence already.
Yeah, could be a way to go about it as well. You could sort of start looking towards the Silencer playing as more of a core role. In terms of, he's almost got himself the Helmet of Dominator as well. In terms of farm over on the Rubik, got himself Mana Bit. So they're sort of trading farm. They're not really playing 4 and 5 position. They're sort of helping each other out more or less. As Lone Druid is getting pinged out in the jungle. I'm still waiting to see. He actually is going for the Maelstrom before the Dragon Lance, which is very, very interesting. Top tower does go down here. Lone Druid is going to be spotted out by the Visage as well.
Well, PSL just trying to put a little bit of damage into the bear, throwing that plasma field out just to create a little bit of space there. And Chosen One actually re-summoning the BA, putting him back on full HP. But there comes a kinetic field. Going to try and see if he can actually keep Pluck out of position. They're going to use those Visage birds to actually, those familiars to actually spot him out.
Yeah,
actually,
this is
that was
where
a
you get the
flyby.
heck out of here. Yeah, like
He doesn't have a
still
TP.
around here.
He doesn't have a TP. He can't actually get out.
Yeah, it's on cooldown as well. He's busy flying in some in there.
How did he even get there? You can't even walk there.
Of course you can walk there. There's a little pathway there. Can't you see it? It's like you just walk one step above that tree and you're in there. It's difficult to get in. Like, you got to be precise about that, but it's possible.
All right, so Anthem missing him out, and Pluck being able to play hide and go seek there. I mean, his Sparkcraft is level 10 at the moment.
Like Lone Druid doesn't have his Dragon Lance. He's going back for it now. He's got himself these Maelstrom. Once they've got the Dragon Lance, then they want to be able to fight. Another tier 1 tower going down in the middle lane. So tier 1 towers down on the side of energy. They're just trying to create a little bit more space, a little bit more time. So we'll see how this goes. Like 14 minutes in the game, 3 tier 1 towers down. Golden experience. You've got experience 4,000 in favor of energy, and in terms of gold, you got 2 and a bit. So energy just trailing a little bit. I don't know if you want to be trailing though up against Sven if you got the Lone Druid there. It's definitely going to be an interesting mid game. Like, I'm going to give him the nut. It could still go either way.
Well, it's going to be super interesting to see how things turn out. He has got his Maelstrom up here on the Lone Druid, and he's now building back into the Dragon Lance.
Oh shit, he's actually pretty quick. Like, he's literally just picked up his Maelstrom a minute ago, and he's already got himself the Ogre Club. So he's farming it pretty quickly, but he's just not able to fight now. Is the only problem. I get his logic now. I get his logic. Like, he's probably told his team, listen, boys, I'm not going to fight before my level 15. I'm going to carry on farming. So he's going to pick up his Maelstrom first to help him increase his farming speed until he hits that level 15 mark. The level 15 mark is where the Lone Druid gets extremely strong because he gets an extra 765 attack damage. The range is okay for the early stages, but it's not what you want. Your Lone Druid gets extremely strong. It's basically a free relic at level 15. So that's probably the mindset here of energy, is just sack the outer tier 1 towers, give our Lone Druid the space and time that he needs, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Well, I mean, it's working out, creating that little bit of space here. Even Venerations actually looks like they're actually blocking in the other side of VN, but the Familiars under a little bit of pressure. There comes the big blink out here from Momo. There's the Sunstrike, going to bring down the Visage. They're going to try and find out the Sand King. They do. Silence going to be good enough. Stunned out, and they're picking up 2 kills here off the back of that. But now Disruptor going down here in the backlines. And EN on the Lone Druid. Chosen one. That's why you're the chosen one, my boy.
Yeah, again, proving me wrong in terms of what I've been thinking and in terms of my sort of thought process. I guess nothing wrong with that. He's got the Dragon Lance flying out in the courier now. He's level 13 and a half, going to hit level 15 soon. So it's probably the perfect timing for him that he wanted to hit, and he's got it right spot on so far. Sven, Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, he's got himself a blink queued up as well. Probably wants to get involved a little bit more. Sand King is just going to get dead. Yeah, just dead. Like, that's a lot of damage in the early stages. Sunstrike does 475 damage, and that's basically
Pure
half
damage,
of almost. Yeah, it's basically half of anybody's HP in terms of supports, and Sand King included.
Well, things have definitely taken a different route this game round. EN really showing their dominance and they're getting those early kills on the board, sitting 12 and 5, 17 minutes in. And let's take a look at what our net worth graphs are sitting at the moment. EN sitting with a 6k gold lead, and in terms of experience, we're sitting at around about also 6k in favor of energy. So the lads, they're doing really well. And VnR, they need to go back to the drawing board. They need to get a lot more farm up on the Sven. TKC, he has actually gone for the Mom. Now, I don't know how you feel about this pickup, but I mean, he's going to be taking a chunk load of extra damage.
No. They changed
They've remade it, eh?
Yeah, I don't think you take the extra damage. Just reading it now. Nope, you don't take the extra damage, but you get silenced now for 8 seconds. So you still get the attack speed, you still get the lifesteal, but you don't take the extra damage. You just get silenced up, which is okay in Sven's case, because generally what you want to do, you just want to jump, you want to blink in, get your stun off, and ideally you want to pop Warcry or Guard Strength beforehand as well. So Guard Strength, Warcry, blink in, stun, Mask of Madness. That's basically the ideal way you want to go. And Sven has picked himself up in Invis Ruin, but it has been pinged out immediately as well. So the side of energy know exactly what happened there.
Well, they are hovering around this sanctuary for a little bit. They may actually be looking at trying to get a bit of a smoke up here. In the mid lane, though, Momo does smoke up, does find out the Visage. There comes the Sunstrike. Telekinesis is going to be good. They're going to catch him. And this Burrow Strike. I thought I saw a Burrow Strike coming out from the Rubik, probably being stolen. PSL now coming into the swing of things. But TKC getting a double kill. That's like putting on a huge amount of damage. The Epicenter jumping into the backlines. Now, Chosen One under a bit of pressure. You have this 2-man stun coming out here from Amumu. And the right clicks from the Chosen One. All of a sudden, the side of VnR showing a spark of life, getting that double kill on TKZ. Absolutely crazy stuff coming out from them.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sven does. He just jumps in, storm hammers, kills off 2 people almost instantly. The Mask of Madness just enables you to do it that much faster. There's another jump in, another slithering crush. The Sunstrike damage got shared between the 2 members there on the side of Veneration Esports. So amazing team play there. I'm pretty sure that was called out as well. Sven just immediately jumped on top of Wazoo, knowing that was coming out there. So TKC being spot on there. Well played to them.
Oh, I mean, all of a sudden that Sven just came in there and just like shouted, "Get wrecked, son!" I mean, completely popping down the players here from the side of EN. I mean, super surprised, but that's not going to stop them. Mumu jumps in, tries to run out. They're going to bring down the silencer though in the backlines. VnR, they're trying to carry on fighting through this. Wazoo going to run it off. There comes the Sunstrike. He's just bringing him down, but not enough to actually kill him. And now the side of EN, maybe try and take down this mid-tier 1. Very low HP at the moment. Sand King actually has to return to base. Very low HP on him. And this could be the opportunity where EN can actually take the other objective, take down this tier 1 tower. Can't believe it's still standing here. TKC, Warcry's up. Actually, a little bit of a misplay there. The Rubik actually bringing back the Disruptor. They still do get the kill. But now Sven actually being cold snapped up. It's going to be brought down. And mega kill going to Chosen. That is massive. Chelsea picking up the last hits on the tower there as well. And I mean, that is not a massive chunk of gold, but breaking his spree, that's going to be worth it.
Exactly. Getting rid of the spree and, of course, putting the Sven on the sideline for 40 seconds. It's pretty big. Taking that tier 1 tower, it's going to, again, just all about the space creation. Lone Druid's immediately back into his own jungle. He's almost got himself the completed Skadi. Now, this complete, like I said in the draft, as soon as you get the Skadi up, you're either going to A, root Sven, or B, slow him with the Skadi. And that's when Sven starts having a hard game. Unless Sven gets the initial jump, Sven's going to have an extremely hard time in team fight. So the only way that I see Veneration at the moment coming out on top in the next couple of minutes as soon as the Skadi's up is immediately just getting a couple of smokes and getting a couple of kills. In terms of smokes, do they have any on them is the question.
Wazoo throwing out a burrow strike with Chelsea in the close vicinity. Anthem trying to get that glimpse off, but immediately Ghost walks out and using that haste to actually generate a little bit of distance between him and the Disruptor.
Yeah, and of course Chelsea being extremely quick on the on the fingers there. I've seen one or two of his Invoker games. It's pretty solid, pretty spot on. Can't really say too many bad things about that. I'm just looking at interesting talents to see what sort of people have picked up here.
Oh, Strike in a little bit of a position here does actually TP out, so TKC not going to actually be able to spot him out. And bot lane though, Anthem playing very risky here with his life. Is actually sitting here in the bushes. Momo may actually spot him out. They do. And immediately throws out the Static Storm. There comes the TP. And instantly saving himself.
Invoker could have just popped out the tornado and got himself... Like, Invoker knew exactly where he was. A little bit slow there from Chelsea. Like, Invoker was off cooldown. He could have thrown out the tornado, had the... Yeah, maybe just sometimes your mind just isn't exactly where you want it to be at sometimes. So he was probably looking down towards the middle lane and looking what's happening up top and just didn't realize that the Disruptor TP out there. Meanwhile, Crush Initiation, the Sunstrike Meteor. Alright, they're going to get a lot of damage out of this Razor. Is it enough? Nope. Unfortunately not, but can they get in turnaround kills is the question. They do have the Disruptor. There is going to get the glimpse off, but it's just the two supports there. Immediately the Global Silence comes out as well. 4 staff away from Strike and the disengages there, but Energy might want to re-engage here.
Well, a lot of their abilities are on cooldown. Media's going to be off cooldown. They just try and work on these familiars for the moment. Plick being caught in the sidelines. Wazoo with a big epicenter here onto both Lone Druid as well as Plick. And now SK, he's taking a little bit of damage, but one being caught out here from the Stormhammer from Sven. There's a Sunstrike and Sven being brought down without any damage being dealt. And this is what Ian needs to happen. Chelsea getting the kill here on Wazoo. Carbon getting Chosen One getting the kill on Pretty Boy, and now Ian look at taking down this tier 2 tower here in the bot lane. So they lost 3-1 in this trade, 19-19 after the 24-minute mark. I mean, Ian coming back with renewed vigor at this point in time.
Yeah, Plick, an absolute beast in that fight. Like, as soon as the Stormhammer came out, like, Plick was waiting for it. Stole the Stormhammer, threw it back at Sven, and immediately Sunstrike came down on top of Sven's head. And, of course, Lone Druid with the Skadi, able to survive the entire epicenter. That's crazy, man. Just look at the stats that he's got there. He's got the plus 12 strength from the Dragon Lance, and, of course, he's got the plus 25 to all stats, and the 225 HP. Now, this Lone Druid, like, the problem with Lone Druid in the previous patches was you had to run him in his melee form because he was just that much more tankier. Now with the Skadi and this extra range, he's just so damn tanky. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. Like, Lone Druid is, once he gets off to the start that he needs, is extremely strong. And Energy, they created the space they needed. I wasn't too happy with the item build up towards the start of how he built it up, but it's worked out for him. So big thumbs up to him then.
Well, I mean, he's got that Skadi online now. He's going to be able to cut the Sven around so much easier, as the Sven can't really move around as quick. Now, what could Sven do to actually close that gap? I mean, he's got the Blink, he's got the Mom. I mean, it's going to give him... he's got the Warcry, so he's really kind of fast. But I mean, how does he close that distance to jump onto the Lone Druid? I mean, does he require the glimpse from the Disruptor to actually... kind of position the Lone Druid for him? But even with that said, I mean, positioning the Lone Druid, you've now still got to deal with the rest of the team from Energy. You've got the Invoker that's going to be throwing balls and tornadoes and crazy stuff at you before you can actually start dodging all of that stuff just to bring down the Lone Druid.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because, one, he needs a BKB. BKB for, of course, Invoker and, of course, the Silencer. But 2, he also needs the Manta Style. So once the Global Silence comes out or the Invoker pops out his spell, I'll hold that thought because there might actually be a fight here.
Well, they do drop down the sentry. They're just trying to spy out Rosh for the moment. I think their next bit of contention is going to be around the Rosh pit. They're just going to send the bear in.
It has to be. Momo's also running around with the Invis room, so going to jump on the Disruptor here and immediately just back out, which is probably the right thing to do. The glimpse comes through. They do have the vision on him, and 2 right clicks, and he just goes down like that. Like,
That was even faster than what my brain could process, and I process things pretty quick. So that just tells you how quick and how soft the Disrupt is, and how much damage we've got Chosen One actually throwing out here. They're going to jump into the Rosh pit. They know that Static Storm is down. This is the opportunity, and they're going to be able to actually get into the Rosh pit here. Easy Aegis here for the side of VN.
Yeah, it was just poor positioning coming out from the Disruptor. He should never be in the lane like this, not against these sort of heroes. But anyway, looks like I got a couple of minutes quickly. Well, probably got a minute. Sven, he needs the BKB for the Global Silence and, of course, for the Invoker. But more importantly is he needs the Manta Style to be able to get out of the route. So the Global Silence comes out, or the Invoker throws out his skills. He pops the BKB. He pops the Manta Style as soon as he gets rooted. And then that's when he can start moving around a little bit. And if he's really unlucky, he just gets rooted again and just dies. But that's the only way I really see him running around in fights. Other than that, is buying out smokes. There's one smoke on the side of Veneration, which they need to use, and they need to use it accordingly. Like, they can't just use the smoke and waste it. They have to make something happen with the smoke. But it's up against the Aegis now, so in the next 5 minutes, this is going to be difficult.
Well, they may actually try and use Invoker to bait, but they don't. They're going to just push down the creep wave in the top lane. And this is the last tier 2 tower, standing in the way of getting onto those shrines, taking those down, putting a little bit of gold into their pocket. They're going to try and spot out Mumu, but a little bit slow there, but the glimpse is good. They're going to get a 3-man crash, but I think Mumu is still going to go down here, and he's dropping really fast. And eventually, Pretty Boy on the Visage going to pick up himself a kill there onto the slaughter. But now with the entire Veneration team out of position, this may be open here for the side of Ian to actually take down the shrine. They're dealing with it really quickly, and they're probably.
Lone Druid, man. They haven't changed. They haven't changed the bear. The bear was so strong in the early stages just because he was able to hit towers, and he can still hit buildings. I mean, generally you see any other hero just hitting away at that shrine for a good 30 seconds. Lone Druid just takes it out in 15 by himself. So the Lone Druid's still good at taking buildings. He's just a good all-round hero now if you get it right. I'm just looking, and he's also got the minus. Oh my word! Like there's only really one skill build or one talent tree to go on this hero, and that's the attack range, the damage, and the minus 50 respawn timer. Now, that is crazy, because once you start getting in towards the 30-minute mark, where your respawn time is supposed to be around the 60-second mark, it's now at 10 seconds, it's now at 20 seconds, and that as a core, being up every 20 seconds, you're basically alive 3 times for a fight. You're alive the first time, you die, you feed, you buy back instantly, you get a kill, you die again, and you're up in 20 seconds. So it's pretty crazy to have your core up basically 3 times in one fight.
Oh, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea. He misses an entire onslaught from the side of VnR. Wazoo prepping up the ulti. Tries to get the Burrow Strike, not finding the Invoker, and just getting completely juked out there. So, Wazoo, get wrecked, son.
Okay, well, Wazoo, Epicenter on cooldown. I don't think they're going to need it in the 80 seconds time either way. Energy, they're quite happy just to burn out those Aegis. They've picked up the Aegis, they picked up the gold, they picked up the tier 2 tower top, they've now picked up both shrines, and they're just farming out the map while starving out the side of Veneration. So this game, it's looking pretty likely that it's going to go to game 3, because Sven into Lone Druid, Silencer, Invoker is difficult for the Sven. It's nothing on TKC. I mean, he's farmed like an absolute beast. He's sitting at 227 CS. He's got, where's my net worth? Can't see my net worth, man. Broken game. There we go.
Well, even the graph. Jeez.
Oh, the graph. Holy crap. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're that far ahead. Root. Now, this is where you can see your Manta Star, but there's no Manta Star, so he immediately goes down. The bear's taking a lot of damage, but it looks like the suction actually does work. PSL is still, however, getting hit and just getting beaten on by the Lone Druid. Tornado comes down. The Visage is still going to drop. Forced off towards the north side of the fight is going to be the disruptor. So it's 2 on the sideline. Sven, however, does have the buyback, and looks like the suction does work on the bear. So you are able to steal damage.
Well, it's now the siege begins. The bear's been kept out from the kinetic field. PSL going to throw down the plasma field. Going to put a little bit of damage, bringing out the aggro here from the creeps. But Lone Druid going to be left alone to actually trying to wear down the tower. Momo missing the stun on Wazoo, but the bear picking up the kill there. Even the bear doing a chunk of damage, only having himself a Bloodstone. And this is going to be an easy bottom lane of Rex here for the side of VN.
Yeah, there's just no way to stop this ranged Lone Druid with the alacrity on him. Like, he just hits like an absolute monster. Like, this tier 2, tier 3 tower is going to go down as well. The melee Rax is going to immediately go down. The buyback on the Sand King, they do get the glimpse over onto Chosen One, so this is going to be a heavy fight here.
Well, there's the Burrow Strike. Wazoo stunning out to the Chosen One. There's the silence. Things are a bit of trouble here. There's the BKB out on Sven. He's looking to fight now. So is PSL. Stormhammer being used out on the illusions there now. We've got the Burrow Strike keeping Plek in place. He's going to be full staffed away. And Plek going to try and TP out. The link is good. It's going to steal a huge amount of damage. But there's the Static Storm being brought down. Strike killing Wazoo in the backlines. Trying to find the Sunstrike onto Sven. He's not going to find it. But Chelsea jumping forward. Fighting under the ice wall. And the plasma field or the kinetic field going to be able to keep Chelsea in play. And GG has been called out. So GG has been called out. If you guys do, for all of your guys that are watching in game, do give them the link so they can actually find the casted game, and we're going to take it from there.
Oh wow, dude! Like, some of the players that came out from some of the plays that came out from Chelsea towards the end. There's some like combos, like that meteor ball on top of deafening blast, on top of 2, saving his Plick buddy as he was TPing out. I think Plick actually got out. I didn't see if he did or didn't, but I think he did. That was crazy teamwork. And of course, Lone Druid, man, it's a sniper 2.0, man. I'm loving it.
That was super crazy. I mean, the draft seems so much better. They felt so much more comfortable, Ian, this time around as to the previous game.
Yeah.
Well, just looking at the scoreboard, I think it's only fair that we just run through the networks rather quickly so we can see how the game actually progressed. Chosen One on the Lone Druid sitting with 12-0. I think that was the biggest problem. I mean, he died 0 times throughout that entire game.
Yeah, right, Lone Druid, man. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. The only way to really stop him is stop him early or don't stop him at all. And I guess the latter of the two happened. They just didn't stop him. Just dead to rights.
How do you feel about the Visage pickup? I mean, he had some crucial chilling graves, but really not enough to actually do too much more with his familiars. I mean, I never saw some clutch stuns or anything that really made a huge difference.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem with Dota. Well, not really a problem with Dota, but I guess that's what makes Dota so great, is either you can have a really good game, or you can have a really average game. And it's not necessarily the player's fault. It's sometimes just the way the hero works out. Like, Visage, there's only 2 ways to play. You either play him really great, and the really great way to play him is get a lot of kills early on, even before you get the familiars out. Sure, the familiars got buffed, but it's a Visage. It happens. So there's nothing that the poor pretty boy could do. It happens. It's one of those games where just the hero doesn't allow you to play it to your potential, and it's Visage. It's Visage, man.
Yeah, well, super unfortunate. Let's jump onto the graphs quickly. I'll bring the screen back for Yokes. Player net worth, I mean, we can see that Lone Druid was pretty much in the lead majority of the time, and Sven closely following at around about the 23-minute mark, and then all of a sudden we had Chelsea and the Lone Druid, Chelsea and Chosen One, all of a sudden accelerating near the end of parts of the game. So, I mean, individual play from the 2 players really doing amazing work on EN. And yeah, I mean, what does now we're sitting 1-1 at 2 games in, final round, best of 3, or what do each teams now jump onto? What could you say is the ace in the hole?
I think I think both teams have. This is, of course, the first series of this season, so both teams are still trying to settle into their way they want to play. Energy, in the first game, they drafted an extremely push-heavy lineup, which didn't work out for them. Veneration Esports drafted a very defensive lineup, which just defended the high ground, and they got themselves the kills. They played a very patient game, whereas in game 2, Veneration, they wanted to play a little bit more aggressive with the Visage pickup, with the Disruptor pickup, and of course with the Sand King. With those three heroes, you want to play aggressive, and the Razor as well. Like, you want to play aggressive with these heroes. You want to get kills early on, and that didn't work out here. So what I would suggest to both teams is to go back to what works for them. And in this case, Energy fight, as they did in game 2, and Veneration just play things a little bit more patient, play things a little bit more slower, play things to their own tempo. Because I must say, they really, really did play well in game 1, where they just relaxed. Everybody just took a breather. Everybody just created space, and everybody was happy.
I feel that...
I just need to be right back quickly. Okay, so just give me like 10 seconds.
Sweet. All right, well...
apologies.
All good. Just something that for you guys out there, I mean, Anthem played a spectacular role on the way that he just roamed around the map. Got those early pickoffs, and even if he didn't get the pickoffs, he was able to provide so much information to the side of VnR that they could actually exploit a couple of his rotations, see what's happening in the lanes. So I really like the way Anthem's rotations have actually turned out. I mean, I've seen in the previous games that a lot of those early support ganks, when they don't work out well, kind of fall behind and kind of lack that XP level that you'd so hope to actually get. And when that doesn't happen, you kind of fall behind. So just allowing Anthem to do the rotations, get those amazing little bit of intel, of occasionally get the pickoffs, then they were able to benefit from that. So I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbled this time round. Ian, or in game 2, Ian being able to benefit from it. And I think maybe just Lone Druid getting a little bit out of hand. We'll see if Veneration actually wants to ban it out, preventing Ian from picking it up again. Does he go back to that actual pickup of the Lone Druid? Well, we'll wait and see what VnR actually decides to do. But pretty much standard bans coming out here for other teams. Veneration banning out the Ember Spirit, banning out the Underlord, and for the side of Ian, banning out the Earth Spirit. We're now looking for the second ban, and it is going to be the Slaughter. So that is going to wrap it up for the bans.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Veneration pick up this IO now, because Energy Esports, they have put like high priority onto the IO in game 1 and 2, banning it out in the first phase. So I'll be interested to see if this was just something that Energy was scared of, or it's something that Veneration actually run here.
Well, that IO, I mean, who would they actually tie it up with? Then is it your common tiny CK bristleback kind of heroes that they actually want to tie it up with? We actually spectated a game, or casted a game last night, where a life stealer IO combination was actually used up.
Yeah, that's not too bad, because the tether does go through magic immune, I believe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Man, I'm getting too old for this game. But Veneration, to go back for the Sand King, and you asked me what I feel that Veneration need to do. And I said they sort of just need to play things patiently and not try and rush things like they did in game 1. Like in game 1, they just played things patiently, they relaxed. I'm not sure if Sand King fits that sort of playstyle. Like, Sand King's the sort of hero that you either want to win a lane extremely heavily, i.e. you go mid up against DK, or you go one-on-one versus somebody like an Underlord. But, yeah, I'm not too keen on this Veneration pickup, but I mean, it could just be a case of they like this hero, they made a bugger up in game 2, and game 3 could be a completely different story.
Well, we'll see if it does come right. I mean, Sand King was really hard. It was really hard for Sand King to put on a lot of pressure into that lane, especially up against the Lone Druid, pretty much outranging the Sand King. And the Rubik and the Silencer putting on quite a bit of pressure onto the Sand King as well. So, I mean, maybe they're going to lane it a little bit differently. But now, the Rubik Legion Commander, being pulled off the sidelines. Not a common hero that I see being picked up.
I'm telling you now.
Piers, what do you do?
If Veneration Esports don't ban out the Lone Druid, Energy are going to pick it up in the next phase. Like, I'm pretty sure of it, because Legion Commander is, you can look at the hero two ways. You can look at him as a pick-off hero. Well, you can look at him three ways if you want. You can look at him as a pick-off hero, you can look at him as a strong laner in a 1v1 situation, or you can go back to 6.78, I think it was, where Legion Commander was played as a 4 position, just boosting up a carry. And in this case, it could be basically like the Alacrity played part in buffing up the Lone Druid in the last game. So I would be very, very scared of the Lone Druid here if I was Veneration.
Oh, well, that's going to be a big option for them. But they're now looking at their phase 2 pickup. We saw a couple of heroes didn't work out too well for them in the previous game. Do we jump back onto, say, the Earth Spirit that did so much for them in the first game? Do they completely change the entire draft? They did pick up the Sand King again, so maybe while they do, they now look towards the Warlock.
Oh wow!
I mean, this is
that's an interesting pickup here. Like, Warlock was,
I feel that
a very popular pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, carry on.
Well, like, I've found that the new update, Dota 3, is really revolved around heroes that are ready to fight constantly and always ready to team fight. Warlock, with a big cooldown on golems, kind of puts them at a negative advantage, where so far Ian has got low cooldowns on the heroes that they've already chosen and is always ready to fight.
Yeah, like you pointed it out as well. Like, the reason why Warlock was such a strong pick, and again, just going back a few patches ago, was because the game pace was a lot slower, and of course, Warlock being an extremely strong lane support with his Shadow Ward. So you're not going to pick up a Warlock just because of his Shadow Ward. You're going to pick him up because you want to fight, and you want to fight every 100 and something seconds. And to be fair, the synergy is okay at the moment. And what did I say? Veneration Esports, very, very scared of that Lone Druid. Banned it out almost immediately as soon as they had the chance. But just looking at these cooldowns at the moment, Sand King as well as the Warlock, they got pretty high cooldowns here. So they want to play at a certain tempo is what this tells me as well. So they're not really too worried about their aggressiveness, but they want to play around their cooldowns, which is what they did extremely well in Game 1.
We'll see if it works out. So far, Ian's got a little bit more of a brashful draft towards them, always so far ready to fight. We'll see what the next pickup is going to be, if they're going to look at also trying to match the pace of what VnR is looking at doing. But so far, very open in terms of what VnR is planning on doing. Energy, they kind of what kind of position can we expect from the Legion to be played?
My money's on the 3 position. Like, you could put him in the middle lane. You don't really want him in a one-on-one situation up against a Sand King. Energy, they pick up a Skywrath Mage. Yeah. Generally, when I see a Skywrath Mage, I generally see another hero with a stun paired up next to him, and I generally don't see Rubik as a stun. Because then you can get yourself a lot of kills. Basically, Skywrath Mage.
Well,
a lot of Raz.
Well, the Rod of Atos is now designed for this hero.
True, but he still has to get there. That's the problem, and I highly doubt it's going to be played as a core. But what I'm trying to get at is at the moment there's no real roaming support here on the side of Energy Esports. There's no real space creator. Okay.
Wow, the Pudge. Oh. The Pudge has been brought off that bench and is going to now actually be putting in a debut in this series. Pudge, really awesome to watch, getting off some of those amazing hooks, and I've seen it be quite successful in the previous games that I've been able to witness. I mean, Pudge, you kind of think it's been played as a funny hero in the draft, but it's actually very viable when they can actually roam around, and I suspect Anthem's actually going to be playing the Pudge.
So 4 position then, eh? Yeah. I won't be surprised if it is a 4 position. Move Sand King onto the off lane like we thought, but it sort of leaves Veneration with a very, very weak safe lane here. And that's what Skywrath Mage does extremely well, is he harasses a lot. So if you throw Skywrath Mage plus Legion towards your flaner, Legion's going to get himself a good start. You get yourself another Invoker picked up by Chelsea if you want that. The Invoker will most likely get banned out by Veneration in the next round or picked up. But Energy, they pick up the Weaver. This hero's been banned out both games in the second phase as well. It's a hero that does well alone. So if he is forced, well, it's not if he's forced, but if Skywrath Mage and Legion Commander want a dual lane top, Weaver, Rubik, they're okay just to go up against the Sand King. Not ideal, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, also something else. I mean, Skyroth, do you think that it's going to be a Chelsea Skyroth? Stick him in the mid lane, get those levels up on him. Then when Legion's got Jewel ready, they're going to Jewel a hero, throw down his Mystic Flare, and that's going to guarantee a couple of jewels onto the Legion Commander.
Like, I instantly said no.
I know, but I convinced you.
You made me think. But I'm just looking at the lineup, and they picked up the Luna, and that sort of leads me to believe they could be, but they could be thinking about it, but I think it's highly unlikely. Like, I just think it's highly unlikely. Like, there's no real, like, it doesn't really give Energy a way to scale in towards the late game. Sure, they've got Legion Commander and Weaver, but Weaver needs a couple of items. Legion Commander needs a couple of duels. Skywrath Mage isn't really the space creator, and I may not be calling the picks this game, but I'm definitely be calling the bans. Lone Druid, Invoker, both being taken out the pool there.
Well, the question is, does Veneration pick up the SD and put Pudge mid, or are Veneration still looking for their mid?
I think that's too many eggs into one basket. Veneration definitely have to pick themselves up a mid laner here. Something with the potential to carry as well. So something along the lines of a Templar Assassin might not be too bad.
Ooh.
Holy mother of Jesus.
Go find yourself a casino, drop 10k on black, and let that wheel spin.
Yeah, it's just a good hero, and I'll tell you why. Because Weaver, very, very low HP pool. Skywrath Mage, very, very low HP pool. Rubik, very, very low HP pool. And, of course, Refraction against Legion Commander. It's just a good pick. Like, Refraction up against Legion Commander means very little chance of dual victory. Sure, you're going to have the Skywrath Mage, but he has to get level 6 first to be able to help out the Legion Commander. The Weaver, once you get that, once you get a Desolate or once you get the Blink Mel Strike, that's a lot of damage. Weaver's going to be instantly forced into time lapsing, which means he instantly has to be forced off the lane, which means Veneration can push themselves to tower. Same for Skywrath Mage. One Mel Strike, and he's most likely going to die. So it's a very, very good pickup. Energy Esports, middle laner. They could go back for the DK if they wanted to. It's a safe pick. It's something that didn't work out for them in game 1, so I don't think they'll go back for it this time. But it's still an option.
Okay, listen.
A tanky frontliner as well.
Okay, listen to this idea. We put Legion Commander in the off lane, Skyroth Mage in the mid lane, Rubik, Weaver, as well as Ogre Magi in the safe lane.
Could be alright, because then you're buffing up your Legion Commander, you're buffing up your Weaver towards the late game with the Ogre Magi and his Blast. It provides in the early game as well, but they're going to go back for the Death Prophet.
My dreams are shattered.
They needed a semi-tanky frontliner, and Death Prophet, once he gets Yule Scepter plus Heart or Yule Scepter plus Octarine Core, he does get pretty tanky, or Yule Scepter plus Shivers. So it's not the frontliner that I like. But it's... I'm just looking at how... Like, sure, the lanes are pretty clear. That's not the problem here, but the problem I'm having is the synergy between the heroes. Legion Commander, Skywrath Mage, yeah, sure, not a problem there. But Death Prophet, I'm not sure how she really fits into this lineup here.
Well, maybe they've got the Siphon that's going to be able to destroy the refraction from the Templar. When the jewel comes out from the Legion Commander, you've now got Exorcism that's going to be doing a whole bunch of work trying to just wreck all the players around. And I mean, it's a generally an all round hero.
It's not even a good lineup against Templar Assassin, and pushing high ground with Exorcism, sure, not a problem, but you're pushing high ground against a Pudge, most likely with an Ether Lens at that stage. So, you hook the Death Prophet in, immediately blow up with a Mel Strike plus Desolator,
and all of a sudden your exorcism's gone. You've thrown all your eggs into one basket. Immediately you have to back off. So, this Death Prophet pick is a yes and no for me. So we'll see how it pays off. Good luck to both teams, of course. To hopefully their sort of tactics does work out. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be game number 3 of this best of 3 series. Game 1 apiece so far. Ian going up against VnR. Been a great showing so far. No more shenanigans as of such. I mean, got none of those deep wards that were placed in the earlier parts of the games this time around. Just making sure that they can secure their bounty runs. And looks like it's going to be a Momo going to be sitting solo in the safe lane as the 4 players here for the side of Ian smoked up. Going to try and rotate. Going to put a little bit of pressure here in this top bounty run for the side of the Dire. They're going to come into contact with TKC. Plick leading the charge. Got telekinesis. There comes the concussive shell. Going to slow him down. There's the first lift. Going to bring him back. TKC coming first blood. The hook almost landing. But Strike picking up the kill there. And almost the hook getting his compatriot Luna out of trouble. But TKC hitting the deck. And that's the way we want to see games start out.
That's definitely one way to see games start up, but they do throw the Legion Commander down towards a 1v1 situation with the Sand King. They realize that the side of VnR does have an extremely weak safe lane here, and this is something that I've been harping on about all series now, is just the weak safe lanes here, and it hasn't really been taken advantage of, and this game it is. Skyrat Mage, Rubik, plus the Weaver, instantly, they're going to lift up over onto the Warlock. They're going to break the trees as well. It's not going to be enough damage to kill him, but it's a lot of harass straight off the bat. Forces him to use the Shadow Word onto himself and not the Luna.
I mean, look how much better this is working out for Ian now. It's actually forcing Anthem to rotate top and take the pressure off the mid lane. I mean, Pudge was hanging in the vicinity to actually catch out Chelsea. But now, after this aggressive try coming out here from the side of Ian, has actually forced Anthem to come back to this top lane and actually provide a little bit of assistance. That's what you were expecting in the first game.
Exactly. That's what I was crying about the whole time in the first game, where Anthem, the side of Energy, needed to put some aggression onto the safe lane, and they're doing it now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Legion Commander down towards the bottom lane, taking damage as expected. I think he's going to come out even. He's doing okay for now. Sand King's always going to get more CS than him, but he's going to be fine. He's going to get himself to level 6, and he's going to get himself the dual damage, and that's what's going to count.
As soon as he starts leveling, press the attack, he'll be able to heal off that Caustic Finale top lane though. TKC's still taking a little bit of damage there. They have to actually use the heal from Warlock to actually just give him a little bit of sustain there. But I mean, so much better performance here from this aggressive try for the side of VN. So much better than what we've seen before. Exactly.
Luna's going to be put on a lot of pressure here. And like I said earlier on, is that Weaver isn't... they're actually coming around here. Okay, no, they're not going to be able to spot out anybody just yet. Pudge is going to get the hook off. Oh, that's a great hook. Underneath the tower shots, the loose beam's going to come out. It's going to slow down Strike. But Plick, with the immediate lift up, is going to create the space that's needed. Is it going to be enough damage to take down the Warlock? Nope. He's going to be able to survive as well. So a lot of damage has been thrown out left and right, but no kills being taken.
I mean, Pretty Boy almost hitting the deck. I mean, taking a chunk of damage. Surprisingly, actually never went down. I thought maybe Chosen One was going to actually maybe chase him down. But feeling a little bit scared and actually just backing off. Anthem with a great hook. Getting Strike under their tower. Sending the supports to the shrine. Getting the heal on. Taking a little bit of bathe under their sun-tanning tower. And yeah.
Yeah, so speaking about the other lanes pretty quickly, Templar Assassin 13 for 6, Death Prophet 11 for 1. It's a wash lane. It's gonna favor the TA slightly because she's got the extra damage from the refraction. The bottom lane, Sand King is sitting at 9 CS and the Legion Commander is actually sitting at 12 CS. So either way, Sue's just slightly misplaying this lane, or he's just being a little bit unlucky with lag or something, because he's taking a lot of damage now.
I think it's just the sustain from the Legion that can actually make him sit in the lane a little bit longer than normal, and just providing a little bit more than what Wazoo can do at the moment. I think as soon as he starts getting a couple of more points into the Caustic Finale, it will keep him a little bit more zoned out. Oh, they do actually pick up the kill top lane, going in favor of Chosen One. And while we were discussing bot lane, top lane's where all the action's at.
Yeah, this is exactly where all the action's going to be at. I mean, Weaver, he can do a lot early on, in the first 9 minutes, I'd say. But after 9 minutes, between the 9 and the 18 to 21 minute mark, is sort of where Weaver's like, oh, I'm not too sure if I can fight. I need this and I need that. I need to be a little bit more safe, because in that sort of time period is where the bigger spells start coming out, is where the supports start picking up their ultis. It's where you start getting your level 3, your level 4 into your nuke spells, and that's where Weaver has to start playing a little bit more careful. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, PSL could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Actually being silenced up. Siphon's going to slow it down for a little bit. Strike trying to mana up, just trying to throw that concussive shell as well as Arcane Bolt out, and not going to happen for the side of VN. And PSL staying alive just a little bit longer, popping refraction in case there's something that comes out. Top lane though, Chosen One taking a chunk of damage. Has got that negative debuff on him, but is going to be able to Sakuchi out. Should be alright. And survives with 71 HP. Probably one more right click from TKC, and there would have been one dead Weaver for the side of VN. But
yeah,
it was a truce.
Not just that, Pretty Boy almost died to the bug. Like, that's always pretty annoying as a support, just dying to the bug. Luckily, Pudge came around, just helped him out there. So, but this leaves Luna all by her lonesome up here. Skyrath Mage is going to be able to pick himself up a couple of CS. Means that they are going to be able to get themselves up mana boots pretty quickly. Rubik, he still wants to by himself. No, Flying Courier is already out, so he's just got the Flying Courier there just to bugger us around, I guess.
Yeah. He's just doing a flyby now. Weaver waiting to get back into the top lane, trying to put some...
middle lane? Middle lane, he does, however, get the Siphon out. They have slowed him down with the Rot and, of course, the Psionic Traps, and they get themselves a kill. Nice little hook. It is nighttime, so it's a little bit more difficult to see out the Pudge.
I mean, Anthem, what did I tell you about this guy? Anthem getting those rotations on, just being such a nuisance here to the side of Ian. I mean, even with that Observer Ward on the high ground, still not being able to spot out Pudge. He was actually smoked up, so just waiting for that opportunity. But bot lane now, TKC trying to find out Momo. He's trying to juke into the bushes. There comes the Jewel. Knows that the rest of his team's in the back lines. Not going to actually get the victory, but they will get the kill on Wazoo. So nothing yet in terms of Jewel damage. Just don't have enough nuke just yet. But wait until the Skyroth does come online, and that Mystic Flare is going to deal a huge amount of damage.
Yeah, that's going to be a key moment in time. But they I won't say force, but the Luna went down towards bottom lane, and they try to get themselves a kill. Now Luna's just in the jungle, just trying to roam around, trying to get farm where she can, and leaving the Warlock up top, trying to get the Warlock up to level 6, because this is the problem. What happens is when you're up against aggressive tri-lanes is you fall behind in terms of experience as well, whether you're playing the defensive tri-lane or the aggressive tri-lane. So they've now left the Warlock just to get himself to level 6. Or Burrow Strike down towards the bottom lane. They're going to charge up the epicenter as well. The stun comes through from the Luna, and they get themselves the kill. They're going to try and hunt down and Plick. The hook, unfortunately, just off the mark, and looks like he might get away. No, they have enough mana for the Burrow Strike, and with that, pop goes the Rubik.
And VnR snack up another kill, putting them tie 3-3 after the 7-minute mark. I mean, this has been a lot more action in the earlier parts of the game as opposed to the previous games we've seen. So I think teams are feeling each other out a little bit more this time around and feeling a little bit more confident in what they can actually do. Hook comes out from Anthem, actually missing the Skyroth. So now that they've got their tri-lane happening here with Wazoo, TKZ, as well as Anthem, putting a little bit of pressure here onto Ian this time around.
Yeah, this is a lot better play, because you mentioned just now where Pudge got himself the kill middle lane, and then as soon as he got himself the kill, he helped out the Templar Assassin with the kill middle lane, walks down towards bottom, they get themselves another kill. So, haste. Plick very, very lucky they picked up the haste rune there. Jeez, if it was any other rune, I'm pretty sure he was dead. Illusion rune maybe could have survived as well. So,
funny Anthem never threw out a hook just to try and catch him.
With a haste rune, you're never really going to catch him, as there's a duel in the top lane. They might get the kill. Oh, the hook! There's no winner chicken dinner. So they're going to trade themselves the kill, and without the duel damage, it's definitely not worth it.
Super unfortunate. Yeah, VnR staying on the tippy toes over here, making sure they're not giving away those unnecessary jewels to the Legion Commander. Definitely not going to be a threat thus far, at least. I mean, the side of VnR, preventing that quite easily. But ENR, or EN rather, taking or putting a little bit of pressure on the tier 1 tower. Does have this trap down. May actually be able to do something here if they do. Lanya is making, or TA is actually making a way down. Does have refraction available, but no one else from the side of VnR just yet. And at this point in time, they've actually sent Chosen One into the bot lane, trying to free up a little bit of farm here for him. So, as you mentioned, as soon as he gets to the point where it becomes a stalemate, you've now got Weaver saying, listen guys, I need to farm. Never went so well in the early parts of the game, and I need those crucial items.
Yeah, so just notice the time. I did say 9 minutes into the game is sort of where he's a little bit scared. So we are 9 minutes in. Does decide he's a little bit scared. Does head down towards the bottom lane. So between 9 and 18 minutes is sort of that time period. But I like this calm, collective play coming out from Veneration. Sure, they weren't too happy with how the laning stage went for them, but they didn't panic. They let Anthem do his thing. They moved around the map a little bit, but they didn't overextend. They didn't do anything silly. They didn't go aggressive and try and get themselves killed somewhere. They played their game, and it seems like their game is just to hold back on the tempo and just relax. Where Energy as a okay, PSL lucky to get away from that one as well. Energy as an MGO, in my opinion, has always been known just to sit back a little bit more and just play a little bit more relaxed Dota. Like I remember back in the days where RDK and the boys were still here. They were also very, very focused on just giving their safe lane carry the farm and just sitting back and playing a little bit more slower paced Dota.
And I suppose it could work out. I mean, the cooldowns coming out here from the side of VnR. Oh, but bot lane, they're going to try and make a play onto Weaver. In the meantime, top lane, VnR, Warlock goes down. But now, Chosen One managed to get the time lapse off out of nowhere, probably spamming that R button. He's probably even going to have to check it out to see if it still works. It goes down mid lane, trap being popped into Chelsea, and no further commitment there. But I mean, top lane losing the Warlock, and then in the bot lane almost getting the kill on the Chosen One. I mean, that was super close and such a desperate need of a kill. I mean, he's so hard to actually lock down, to actually catch. I mean, this is going to be an absolutely frustration for the side of VnR.
Yeah, it is going to be. They haven't made a rotation now. They've smoked up with their Luna. They have headed down towards the middle lane here. This is an extremely weird rotation. It's not something that you'd expect ever. Like 11 minutes into the game, and they want to use the ulti of the Luna. They want to try and make something happen. The pings are coming out. They don't see Chelsea yet, but they are going to make a walk down towards the low ground and pop the Psionic Trap and most likely get a kill here.
Oh, wow. Wazoo whiffing the ulti because of Momo's overwhelming odds, keeping him out of the battle. But eventually, Wazoo still picking up the kill on Plick and also losing the Death Prophet. Now, Anthem trying to get the bite down onto Legion Commander. Before you know it, that's a 3-for-0 trade. Ian completely caught with their pants down and losing 3 here. Tier 1 tower down. Here comes the push. The Golem's out. And they're going to be looking at taking a little bit more than what they expect. They've still got this range creep here, so they can actually work it off, but the range creep does eventually go down. So that's going to be backdooring tier 2 tower. Not going to work for this amount of time, and I think they're just going to back off.
Yeah, they're just going to get chip damage on, and well, Chiefs actually didn't get any chip damage on. Got 1 or 2 hits on and decided to back away. They did the safe thing, so it's okay.
Chosen One picking up a Warlock, easy peasy.
How did he pick that one up underneath the tier 1 tower?
He dove the tier 1 tower. I mean, Warlock is just food to the Chosen One, to the Weaver. I mean, now he's got his targets in sight. He realizes how soft the Warlock is, and this is going to potentially be the food for the Weaver.
Yeah, I'm expecting another 45 minute game here, to be honest. There's a lot of growth potential on the Weaver. There's a lot of growth potential on the Luna. I hear Pudge ulting something. No, he's just farming up the jungle. He's actually not even going for the Ether Lens straight up. He's going up for, looks like a pipe for his team straight off the bat, which isn't exactly the usual build, but they do need the extra little bit of help versus the magical damage because the Death Prophet has picked up a Veil.
If I do recall, Exorcism is actually physical. Yeah, it is physical, so it's only really the Cryptic Swarm and really the Mystic Flare coming out from the Skyroth. Don't know if it's really worth all of that for a pop, but
I know, it does well, the pipe is not really what I was questioning. I was just questioning the Veil. The Veil's good, like, in general. Like, it's got good stats on it. It's pretty cheap for what it's worth, but whether the Cryptic Swarm and... I guess it helps with farming out the creep waves. Cryptic Swarm plus Spirit Siphon, of course you also have to have the Mystic Flare. But I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan. So I'll leave my criticism until we see it in action or until it's completely failed and then I can say I was right all along.
Yeah. Well, that's I'm going to sit here with bated breath for that moment. But yeah, in the mid lane, there comes the hook. Going to catch our Chosen One. The Jewel coming off onto the Warlocks in the back line. They're going to clear up the Chosen One. So does the Legion Commander go down. Now, here comes the Skyroth. He's going to go down too. Gets lifted up by Pluck, but now the slow from PSL going to keep him in place, and that is going to be an almost team wipe for the side of Ian. All of them going down except for DP, and the only reason for that is because she's sitting pretty in the top lane, trying to farm out what she can, and even dropping the Warlock. The side of VnR is showing a dominating performance here.
Yeah, they definitely are. They play into their strengths again. They're not rushing things like they did in game 2. They just going back to game 1 and they're just relaxing a little bit here. As Weaver sends through the bugs onto Russia, PSL does have himself a Desolator. They do see the Weaver here. They do get the stun over onto Chosen One. He does have the time lapse. Strike is just going to harass as well. The Shadow Word is going to come out onto the Luna. Looks like that's going to be the end of that. And VnR are just going to be happy with just farming up their own jungle and shrining it up.
Well, it looks like things are going to just reset for the moment. But I think the next point of contention is going to be this rush. Ian knows that they want it.
I don't think either team can really take it. Like, no, both teams...
Well, they were still doing... They are still doing quite a bit of damage to that rush. They were in there for a few seconds and it's really half HP, so they've got the weaponry to actually make it happen.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the damage. Like, sure, both teams with the Desolator and, of course, with the Weaver Bugs and the Exorcism, they got the damage to do it. But whether they have the damage to do it in time before the other team rocks up and throws out all their spells is the problem. So the only way I really see either team taking a rush is if... Ooh. What's going on bottom lane? I hear something going on.
Momo blinked just out of Wazoo's Burrow Strike and keeping himself alive there. I mean, 4 players around for VnR, but I'll see quick fingers there blinking out of damage. And they're looking at maybe Tony trying to put a bit of pressure on this tier 1 tower. Very low HP. There comes the bugs out from Weaver, trying to see if he can find a target. And he finds nothing. Anthem dropping down a ward just to give them a little bit of vision. And the next point, they... actually look like they're actually rotating back. This could actually be the play. They pull the entire side of Ian to the bot lane, and they may actually jump into the pit here. Luna clearing out the creep waves.
I think it's such a bad play though. If they jump into the pit and they don't kill it fast enough, and the other team just responds, no, they won't jump into the pit now. They can't jump into the pit. Sure,
they're gonna jump into the pit. I told you this is what's going to happen. They draw the entire team bot, get those rotations out from...
Chelsea has a TP, there's an AP 8 seconds. They're going to trade a tier 1 tower for rush. This is not worth it. Like, you pop the Exorcism, you throw out the bugs, you go down into the rush pit. Like, you can't test this rush. This is so not worth it, yeah.
I don't think it's they know it's been done.
Because they saw 3 heroes running past the middle lane, farming up the creep waves. They saw 3 heroes there. They saw it, they knew it was going on, and they popped the X's and they want to take 2 towers here. This maybe might be worth it, but Templar Assassin, I believe, picked up the Aegis. Yeah, this is Templar Assassin with Aegis and Blink now, and that just means she gets a free kill on anybody, as looks like Weaver's trying to get himself a free kill on Anthem. Probably will find at the end of the day. They do get the dual damage over onto the Legion Commander, so I don't think giving up that rush was a good idea.
Well, I mean, Exorcism's down. They got the rush. They lose tier 1 and tier 2 off that rush fight and or that rush pickup. And I mean, nothing more gained from there. So yeah, I could actually agree with you. Although they now also pick up the Jewel and Legion, so even more so a loss here from the side of VnR. But obviously they got something in mind. They didn't want to give the rush to the side of Ian. I think it could have been a lot more difficult for them to deal with the Weaver with Aegis. So maybe just securing that a little bit better.
Yeah, getting it for themselves is okay. Like I just don't agree with Ian giving it up. Like Ian could have fought there 100%, like overwhelming odds. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm hopping on about God, what's that saying about bygones be bygones or something? Either way, they've got PSL now. They've got this Aegis, and what I would have really expected after the Warlock respawn is they immediately smoked up, or should have smoked up with it. Maybe they're grouping up for the smoke at the moment. Nope, doesn't look like it. But what they should do now is smoke up. They've got a Warlock on them. They've got Aegis. They've got Blink, Desolate up on PSL. They need to go find themselves kills, and they are invading the enemy jungle.
Oh, this is they've got all their ultis off cooldown. This is the opportunity for them to fight. They've got Aegis as well. I mean, this is the perfect moment. Strike going to be spotted out, going to be dead rather quickly. Silence does come out, not going to be able to do too much there while this is all going on. Chelsea making his way to the top lane, as well as Chosen One. Maybe going to try and do something mid here, but he's going to get attacked from the behind. Wazoo in vicinity gets the stun off. There's the hook.
Oh, the hook.
And instant time lapse away. And there comes the golem, going to hold him in place. Now he gets the bite.
Oh, wow.
And Chosen One gets brought down. Easy peasy here for the side of VnR. Now Momo in a little bit of trouble, decides he has to get out before he gets spotted out and gets hooked to death. I mean, beautiful little hook coming out from Anthem. Chosen One thought he was safe the entire time. In the meantime, VnR had a surprise for them.
Yeah, man, what a play from Pretty Boy. He just dropped the golem and spot on. Like without that golem, they would have never got the kill. With the golem stun, allowed Pudge enough time to catch up and get themselves an easy kill. And getting a kill onto the Weaver is legit because I mean he's got himself Dragon Lance. He needs to get himself that Desolator, but he still doesn't have the time. Like he generally. Ooh, easy kill. Oh no, they're not going to get the kill. PSL does, however, have the Aegis. They are going to pop the Exorcism. Chelsea might drop dead. He is going to survive just thanks to the Yule Scepter. Luna using her ulti. You got the Epicenter as well. The Aegis does go down. Tier 2 in the middle lane goes down. However, you have lost 2. You have lost your Tier 2. And the side of, just basically walk away scot-free.
Yeah, easy money. Easy money, says the boys. They're going to try and go bot. Trying to bring down this tier 2. Going to open up the sanctuaries if that does happen. Wazoo looking for Chelsea. Has popped Exorcism. Still going off. It's not going to last too much longer. So they could actually quite easily take down this tier 2. Legion Commander's down for another 10. No buyback available. So easy tier 2. They do glyph it. So they suspect that they're not going to carry on pushing forward. Wazoo trying to find Plek. Not going to happen. There comes the silence. And Wazoo playing with his life. Being a little bit overzealous over there. Going down, they do get the tier 2 tower, but I suppose they said we'll sacrifice, we'll sack the SK and let him go away. Mumu almost almost catching out the Pudge. Doesn't happen. And this time around, Luna TKC doing a little bit better than what they did in the hands of Ian did. Even with the Shadow Demon combination.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. Like, Shadow Demon doesn't necessarily make Luna, but Luna is just it's just one of those heroes. Like, you either get off to a good start or you don't. And this game around, she's got off to a half decent start, and this has helped her farm up. And she's got herself the Dragon Lance, and she's gone for a completely different item build as well. She didn't go for the Dragon Lance in the last game, so she has an extra little bit of stats. She's going to go back for looks like just a casual Yasha into straight up BKB, whereas in game 1 she went for BKB as her 4th item, I believe it was. This time it's going to be her 2nd item, more or less.
But the previous game it was played by...
Chosen One.
It was Chosen One that played it the previous game, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's different item builds for different situations, really to different results. The scan does come out there, so they do know that they are in that sort of region. Pings are coming out onto Chelsea, but I don't think the side of VnR are going to fall for that bait, as they did scan out the smoke, yeah.
Momo, he is in Viz, going to try and see if he can find anything. He does actually find the Luna. There's the Blade Mail, going to catch Luna. There's a Mystic Flare, going to be enough. 350 in the pocket of Strike. But there comes the dual victory from Momo. And already got 44 dual damage. There comes the hook in the mid lane. Catches out Chelsea. And that is going to be a dead Chelsea. And that's pretty much all she wrote at the moment.
Yeah, this is a little bit more difficult now, this game. Weaver does have his Death Ladder now. Yes, indeed, he does. You got Legion Commander with that Blade Mail. Without the Blade Mail, I don't think he would have got the kill over on two.
No, that Blade Mail was a massive pickup here for the side of VN.
Yeah, exactly. So without that Blade Mail, I don't think he would have got the kill. Because I was just about to say that the Luna is a little bit too tanky, but then I didn't see the Blade Mail. So Blade Mail came out, got themselves a nice easy kill. Luna's on the sideline for a good 30 seconds. Means she can't farm. Gives the Weaver a little bit more time. Pudge, of course, again, just Anthem. He's been pretty close to man of the series so far, I'd say.
I mean, his rotations and now even this game with the hooks that he's been able to get off, unbelievable. I mean, he hasn't gone for that general bolt, ether lens, eggs. I mean, he's really
not
gone
greedy at all.
No, absolutely. He's got the hood. He's now got himself perseverance. He's probably building up into that Lotus Orb just to make sure that they can maybe try and debuff a lot of the abilities that that Ian can bring to the front. So doing really well, really playing well. I mean, probably captained even better. I mean, I know when I was moaned at by my captain, no names mentioned. Buy this Jabba, buy that Jabba kind of vibe. So. Yeah, very, very good boy that listens.
Yeah, no, he's been playing spectacularly so far this series. Just trying to see what else could be interesting here. I'm not sure what the Lotus Orb does here, though. It doesn't block the duel because you basically just duel each other. I guess it could get rid of the Siphon and the Slow, but looks like Luna's getting... She's going to get hunted down here, I think. Oh, it blinks the wrong way. Luna's still caught out in the middle of nowhere. Pops the Manta Star. They do pop the Golem just to be able to create enough space. But is it going to be enough space? Yes, indeed. Legion Commander on the sideline and definitely a hell of a worth.
Well, I mean, even after that, maybe a whiff play coming out from the Legion Commander, do you still pop the Golem?
Yeah, of course. Like, you save your Luna at all costs. Sure, Golem's got cooldown of 100 and what seconds? 180 odd seconds at level 1, 165 seconds. So, but this means that he's able to put his Golem into the jungle if he wants to farm up, but he's not going to do that. But they're going to be able to use the Golem for the Rush Pit.
Oh yeah, well that's I suppose then it's worth. I mean, to be able to use that Golem, tank up Rush and move forward. Chosen One's onto this, throws the bugs into the Rush Pit. They do know that this is happening at the moment, but they've got nothing to actually deal with this.
Yeah, I was about to say the bugs actually just helps out the side of VnR. So bugs just helping them. So immediately they smoke up right away as well. So they've got a general idea or general feeling where the Weaver is, and they're going to spot him out, probably bite him straight up and just kill him.
And VnR looking in an unstoppable position at the moment. This is like Rocky Balboa. This is like Rocky Balboa veneration.
Yeah, they're playing extremely well. Like, that was a very, very smart smoke. They knew where the Weaver was because the Weaver threw out his bugs. Immediately smoke up, get themselves that pick off. He's 31 seconds on the sideline, no buyback. VnR, of course, don't know this, but he's back up in 20 seconds. So the best VnR can really do here is get themselves a tier 3 tower and back. Well,
they do glyph it out. Glyph has come off cooldown. They do now have a BKB up onto Chelsea. How do you feel about this, the BKB? I suppose maybe trying to withstand the Eclipse from the Luna as well as the Epi from the SK.
Yeah, it's good. Like, no quarrels against the BKB. It's not exactly ideal for Chelsea. He would prefer to go into something like a Shiva's Guard and then Heart and then BKB, or Heart BKB then Heart, along those sort of lines. But being forced into the BKB, it's not bad, it's not great, it's not going to change the state of the game at the moment. It will help him out, but it's definitely not game-changing. I'm just waiting for that Shiva, because the attack speed's slow, the movement speed's slow, that's going to be the big part here. Legion Commander, 44 dual damage, so he's got himself that little bit of extra to play with. Skyrath Mage does have the Rod of Atos as well, plus Glimmer Cape. So that's not too shabby up on him. Drops the ward, so he sees immediately where the side of VnR is, and Energy know what's potting here.
Oh, Moba here in the sidelines. Going to try and find that jewel on TKC. We need to zoom out for this because the team is super. But the Warlock spots him out, immediately blinks out, finds the Luna. There comes the Golem trying to keep a Luna alive, but it explodes and Legion Commander down for the count. Chelsea got the exorcism popped out. She's trying to see what she can find. But VnR, they're going to just back off for the moment, just regroup. And TKC probably feeling it in his nether regions on what just happened. And Legion Commander, yeah, super unfortunate. Kind of got caught out of position. Had to go because he got spotted out from the Warlock. Obviously waiting for his team to actually get closer. But he made the jump. He made the call. Went in, jeweled, and lost it. And I think the Luna's not even sitting with a couple of jewel damage. 14 damage extra to her name. So, like she needed it.
I like she needed it. Now she's sitting at 3,500 gold. She's going to go for Manta style, and I think that's a bad choice here because there's no way that Legion Commander plus Skywrath Mage can kill off the Luna at this stage anymore. You saw it there. You saw how quickly that popped out. Pretty Boy very, very fast on his ult. He just drops the hammer, and there's no way that they're able to get the dual damage there. The Hawk, unfortunately, just off the mark there. Tier 3 tower goes down. Plick. Try to lift the Templar Assassin back in, but Templar Assassin is still sitting with the Aegis, I think. Yep, still sitting with Aegis of the Immortal, so not too worried about that. They get themselves a free Tier 3 tower. You mentioned that the Legion Commander got spotted out there. I don't know if Legion Commander can actually kill off anybody here. I'm just looking at Warlock's HP, sitting at 1,300 with Glimmer Cape.
I think it comes down to the point that even if you can't actually kill the hero, it's more the point of actually locking down that hero so that Strike can actually throw the Mystic Flare out. I don't think it's actually come to the point where he can do any dual damage at this point in time.
Yeah, but even with dual plus Mystic Flare, Glimmer Cape is just going to negate most of the damage from the Warlock, and then with a Shadow Word as well, and Warlock's been spot on with his ulti. Like there's only one person you can jump on here, and that's the Warlock, but the Warlock's got himself 1,300 HP. You can't jump on Sand King, you can't jump on Templar Assassin, you can't jump on Pudge, you can't jump on the Lunam. You have to jump on the Warlock. Like there's no two ways about it.
Even with the Golem that he actually helps out with. Bugs come out from Weaver. They're going to spot out the Warlock as well as the SK. Trying to really do a little bit of damage here to the Sanctuary. 150 gold waiting in the bank if they do bring those down. If they take down the other one as well, that's 300 gold in the pocket for them. But here we go. We've got the Legion finally jumping onto PSL, doing a chunk of damage. Can they actually bring him down? And no, PSL melt strikes and Legion goes down. I mean, EN just don't have the backbone anymore to bring down the side of VnR.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. I mean, just looking over at the graphs, you got net worth of 12,000, you got experience at almost 16,000, and again, VnR just running down middle lane. There is a Bloodthorn now up on the well, not a Bloodthorn, but a Orchid Malevolence up on the Templar Assassin. Pop the Manta Style, most likely just go for another tier 3 tower. Both cores just whipping out the Manta Styles, and they're going to get a lot of chip damage done here. It's definitely going to go down to half HP, and I won't be surprised if VnR just play this safe, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to play at their own tempo, and this is exactly what I said they need to do before the draft started. Just play at their own tempo, and that's what they're doing. They're just going back, casually just taking out shrines, just casually farming up. Sand King's going to go back to base and just farm out the wave up top there, and they're just going to take complete control of the enemy jungle as well.
Well, just looking at the barback status, pretty much barback on all the cores. Luna will have a barback in at any moment now. So pretty much going to be a very risky fight, especially if VnR decides to push higher ground, knowing that they're going to have instant support in terms of barback. So going to be really interesting. The next team fight, they need to make use of that Aegis at the moment. PSL actually lost it. And yeah, they may actually look at fighting around the next rush pit. It's gonna be, what is that, minimum spawn time, or no? We'll only find out after the creatures.
I don't know how that thing works. I think it doesn't work since I think it just doesn't work. Like I don't know how that thing works. I'm not even going to comment on that.
It's a broken clock. Oh, Anthem throws out the hook onto Chelsea. Chelsea dodging it with his body sensors, not being pulled back, staying alive just a little bit longer. And Anthem playing in very sneaky positions at the moment.
Yeah, just trying to figure out a way that energy can come back into this here. Like, they're so far behind at this stage, and the heroes don't cope too well from behind. Weaver, he's got himself Lincoln Sphere now, he's got himself Desolate, he's going back for the MKB. Can't fault that. Legion Commander, he's got himself the 44 dual damage, got himself Blade Mail, pretty poor. Death Prophet as well. It's just
got himself Veil plus the BKB plus the Yule Scepter, and hasn't really done too much with the X's in this game. But to the credit of VnR, they haven't let him do anything. I think they got themselves the tier 1 and tier 2 tower with the exorcism when they were taking down the rush. And that was it. It's been pretty hard going so far for Energy.
It really has been now. Top lane though, all of a sudden Chosen One and Mumu are trying to see if they can do something. Yeah, don't actually force the rotations out from the side of VnR. Momo just hiding in the tree lines at the moment. Only sent to the lonely pretty boy to man that single tier 3 tower in the top lane. I mean, VnR feel so confident. I mean, they've got half their team sitting in the bot lane, 2 of them sitting in the top lane. I mean, at this point in time, I think it's they're just waiting for that pivotal point.
Yeah, the pivotal point being that rush. So if the side of Energy are able to take a big fight, there'll be a huge swing. If they get themselves 2 or 3 kills and lose 5 heroes, it's okay. But it'll be a big swing as PSL does get pinged out here. The Lincoln Sphere does get popped immediately as well, thanks to the Orchid Malevolence. And these heroes up here, they're just trying to be as annoying as hell, just trying to make sure that the side of VnR aren't pushing in the bottom lane, aren't pushing in the mid lane. So they're just trying to create as much space as possible here.
I think Mumu and Chosen One, they're trying to pull off an Anthem over here. Anthem sitting in the trees in the bot lane. I think they're trying to do the same here in the top lane as well. Just to try to create a little bit of confusion.
Yeah, you see the problem is as soon as... Oh, okay, never mind. Weaver, Lincoln's Sphere gets popped immediately. The problem here is, like, VnR want to push out this top lane so they can take a rush pit. They take the rush. Energy want to apply pressure on the top lane so they can, A, carry on creating space across the map, and B, make sure that the side of VnR doesn't get into the rush pit. So as soon as this creep wave goes past the river, that's when you start redlining. That's when you start worrying as an Energy esports fan. Start worrying about, is Rush going to come up? Do they have the sort of vision around it? They do have a nice observer ward towards the high ground, and in the middle lane is one that's going to expire as well. So bottom lane being pushed in by the illusions. Top lane is going to be pushed in now as well. This is a good timing now for VnR to quickly head into the pit.
Well, they're going to deal with that shrine first, take away any TP support that Ian may want to try and prevent that rush actually coming down. So they do get it, and now the opportunity completely opens up here for the rush pit. And I mean, they've got the head page in the bot lane, putting a little bit of pressure here in the bot. He returns back to base, and they're going to jump straight into the pit. VnR, after this, I mean, there's nothing holding them back from pushing up mid lane.
Yeah, and Energy know this. You just see Chosen One in the middle lane. He realizes that they're in the rush pit. He's trying to just cut out the creep waves and force the lanes back. So as soon as this rush gets taken down, which it has been now, and try and get the creep waves past the river. As soon as they pass the river, you feel a little bit more safe. You waste 1.5 minutes on the Jaegers, but the problem is the creep wave hasn't been pushed out as much as they would have liked. So top lane PSL is going to push in. The rest of this team is going to just push in this middle lane, and they won't be too worried about the bottom lane for now. So they've got the Jaegers. There's no tier 3 tower in the top lane. Tier 3 tower in the middle lane is already at half HP. So it's pretty easy going if VnR just want to try and force down top lane with brute force.
Well, they do have the tools at hand in the mid lane. Chosen One, he's just trying to keep these lanes pushed out as much as he can. Does have a TP available to him, so he can get back to base rather quickly. It's now the turn of Ian to try and mount this gargantuan defense that we hope they can actually do. The Lotus Orb being used up on PSL. He's going to be the first one in there. Aegis is up on him. He's got his Hurricane Pike in his stash, so he's going to be trying to swap that out as soon as the Aegis does go down. First lane of first racks going down. Crypt Swarm just trying to clear out those creeps as quick as he can. But they're just willing to throw PSL in at the moment. Cian trying to do what damage he can. There comes the glyph. They decide to try and make a move. No, he's just going to walk it off. Chosen One trying to do something here in the sidelines. We've got the rest of the team just offering up backup, but we've now got... There comes the jewel out from the Legion Commander. Tries to find... It does actually go down eventually. Now there's the fight erupts. Exorcism coming out here from Chelsea. He does heal himself up. Anthem taking a little bit of damage, but Epicenter trying to do some damage. Weaver so close to be brought down. He does. Can't actually time-lapse out of it. He already did. And that's down off cooldown. And now mid lane is under a huge amount of pressure. And taking down this tier 3 Chelsea. Still alive. I've got Exorcism running around. But Golem doing a chunk of work over here. here. We've got Luna that went back to the top lane, cleared out the top lane of Rax, but PSL making short work of this mid lane of Rax, and Pretty Boy backing them up here with the Golem. And Exorcism still not doing enough to actually prevent the VnR lineup from pushing higher ground. They did manage to take out top lane, able to put on a little bit of damage here onto the range Rax. And PSL still got the Aegis that could mount another attack as soon as the ult is off cooldown for the side of Warlock and Luna.
Yeah, and they've pinged out the double damage rune as well. Nobody's picked it up yet. They could. They've got, what have they got? They've got a minute 30 seconds to go pick up the. No, they don't. They've got 20 seconds to pick up the. No, the runes spawn at odd times now, not at
even times. No, it's even times, but only one rune aside.
Yeah.
So,
aside.
Only here, or only over here, and it's going to change in the next 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
Okay.
And then when you want to stack creep camps.
Yeah,
that's at odd numbers. I thought I'd help you out. I thought I'd help you out.
Thanks, dude.
Sweet.
So kind, man.
Luna's going to hang around here to see if he picks up another rune bot. And no, it spawns top. It's going to be regen. So one of the supports can probably pick that up. And mid lane, though, Wazoo playing a little bit aggressive forward here, backing up PSL. Does have that trap down. They may actually look at putting on another attack here. We've got a lot of players for the side of Ian out of position, out in the top lane. Yeah. And all of a sudden, PSL, VnR takes an easy Rax mid. And now they catch out Legion Commander. Does actually BKB up, but if anything can get close enough, he can... Oh! PSL blows up the Legion Commander, and now Luna just going to go ahead, right-click down the mid-tower. Chosen one, trying to find something in backlines. Anthem comes in with a big dismember. Now, Anthem popping out to the Exorcism, but good game is called. VnR take this best of 3, and Ian just outmatched the third game round, and TKC finishing off with a beautiful triple kill. So, I mean, that's it. VnR take game number 3, put in their score at 2-1 after this best of 3 series. Unbelievable play from both teams. Before we go into the post-match, if you oaks duck off the stream before then, please do subscribe. I'll be able to get a cooler name as opposed to some funny random numbering. So do sub. We'll keep up to date with other casts that are happening here and around SA. So do give us a sub. Otherwise, we hope you enjoyed the casts. Hopefully we can get some more games casted for you guys. Pretty much been pretty active during our league action. Joining me tonight will be Pooza. PoozaCast stays in the Germanys. So thanks for joining us. But with all that said, let's jump into the post-game analysis before all you guys decide to bounce off. So yeah, looking at our post-game analysis, game ended 40 minutes in, 27-10 in favor of VnR. I mean, where did things go wrong for the side of Ian this time round?
I don't think it's so much where the game went wrong for Ian, more where the game went right for Veneration Esports. We had a quick chat during Game 2 and Game 3, what both teams need to do, and I feel like Veneration just did what they needed to do. They played their game, they played to their tempo. Energy was forced to move around the map. Energy had a great start in the laning stage with that aggressive tri-lane. They let it sort of fall apart when the Pudge got the hook off in the middle lane and then immediately rotated down bot with a Luna, and they got themselves a kill another 30 seconds later. And that's when things started falling downhill. And I mentioned that 9 to 18 minute mark where the Weaver just is nothing. So between 1 and 9 minutes, the Weaver's pretty strong, but between 9 and 18 minutes, he's pretty weak, and that's exactly what happened. It just shows you why we enjoy this game as much as we do. It's just these different periods in games where different heroes do different things. They were never really able to get their dual plus Skyrath Mystic Flare combination off the Yule. I mean, the Veil on the Death Prophet didn't really do as much as Chelsea would have liked, but overall, it was pretty decently played from both teams. I enjoyed watching the entire series, but like I said, I think it just came down to Veneration just playing the game that they wanted to play.
I was. I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit concerned for VnR's lineup. It went for those bigger team plays around those big cooldowns, but as soon as the ultis were online, they constantly pushed, and it never actually gave Ian the opportunity to actually bring the fight to them. It was always the fact that Veneration was taking the fight to them. Right, ultis off cooldown. Let's go. And
Exactly, playing at their pace.
and that's what they did, and it just never gave Energy the opportunity to actually get on their feet. They was kind of on their knees the entire game, and they were just getting punched down. And those big ultis coming out from VnR, they show you why even those big cooldown ultis can make such a difference if played correctly.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at sort of item timings as well. Blink Dagger up in 14 minutes on Legion Commander. He wasn't a 1v1 situation in a matchup where I didn't really favor it, but look at the Sand Like, he got it 4 minutes earlier, and 4 minutes is a long time in Dota. Like, that's two basically smoke ganks with your epicenter, which is something that the Legion Commander couldn't be a part of because he hadn't had his Blink Dagger yet. So that was also pretty big timing, so those 4 minutes, that 4 minute gap.
Yeah, well, they were really important. Weaver only picking up his Dragon Lance at another crucial timing for him was at the 14-minute mark as well. So maybe a little bit slow. I mean, he was lacking
to be
in
fair to
terms
Weaver,
of.
he did have power trades and completed
Yeah.
Ring of Aqua at that stage. So it's okay. Ideally, you would like to have it sooner. Sure, but I guess the bigger problem there was that 10-minute period between the Dragon Lance and the Desolator. Like 10 minutes again, it's a long time in Dota.
I mean, I feel Chelsea's items really did well in concerning the timings. I mean, Yules with Veil all at the 18-minute mark. It still felt like a non-starter for me. Kind of popped the exorcism, didn't really get much done with it. I feel that maybe the heroes that Ian has been using of late kind of seems that it would have been strong in the previous update. I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong. It just feels that the heroes that VnR have picked up is a lot more with the current meta, a lot more stronger. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Like they've got Wazoo to initiate. They've got Templar Assassin, which one middle lane right out, which it generally does up against Death Prophet. They had Anthem just doing his thing. They had Warlock always sit in the background, getting ready for his ulti. He always used his ulti defensively. Luna had enough time to farm up. Luna was involved in the team fights, whereas the energy heroes, they just didn't really synergize up. The only thing that really synergized was the dual Mystic Flare, and it was just a combination they were never able to pull off.
Yeah, or they were by that stage a lot more tankier that they could actually just withstand that onslaught. So
exactly.
I mean, I think from our side, I think we've pretty much wrapped up the series pretty well. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
No, it was good. I enjoyed watching a little bit of SA Dota. Chilling here with you, Jib, was always a pleasure as well. That's pretty much it from us. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Well then, guys, we hope that you enjoyed our Monday night Dota cast. Hope you guys had a great evening of Dota. I know there's a lot of actioning happening around the community at the moment, with a lot of the cups that are happening, with the Masters action, with all of it going on. So do stay tuned. We're going to try and bring you some more games up and coming this week. But pretty much for now, we are done. From myself, Jabba, you can get hold of me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Jabba Gaming. And Pooza, you can get hold of him at PoozaCast on Facebook as well as Twitter. Do shout him out if you or hit him up if you want to chat to him or tell him how bad his cast was. You can hit me up if you want to tell me how good my cast was. But yeah, jokes aside, guys, hope you enjoyed your evening. From myself and Pooza, good night and God bless.
God bless. I like that one.
like a Hellcat.